That got your attention, didn't it? That's what we're about here at Bay of Plenty. Attention. Catching the eye. Every inch of this beautiful metropolis is perfection to behold. And so is every single resident, of course. Looking for the perfect place to call home? We've got high-paying jobs and affordable luxury condos just waiting for you and yours to make the decision. Need a vacation spot? You won't find a more memorable destination in all the world. Maybe you're looking to make a name for yourself. Well, have we got the opportunity for you? Come on down to Bay of Plenty, where dreams come true. Last time on Transience. Not too long ago, a high-paying gig for anyone who can provide useful information about a rapidly growing epidemic called CFD. Recently, a couple weeks ago, the number of CFD cases exploded on the coastlines of most of the world.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's your main chromatic man once again coming to you here on Pirate Wave X595. Just this morning, someone suspected of being afflicted with CFD was spotted being snatched by masked men in dark suits from their beds and disappearing into a black van.
One of your neighbors in the market is distressed. Have you seen Roland today? Key. How's your morning going?
Harold Stevens, CFO of Mega Bilo Corp, headed out for the next big job.
Feeling confident about the job?
You know, I got some theories as to what could be causing this, and
Yeah?
I kind of feel like I'm a step ahead of everybody else.
Roxy, how are you feeling this morning?
It was a late night. I really wish I'd had time to sleep a little bit more, but I suppose I have to carry on with this business, especially since my partner is down and out for the moment.
Welcome. My name is Dr. Ian Long, and I work at Stone Tech Labs just across the street. Head up recruitment, strangely enough, and act as, I suppose, middleman for this effort. You are being contracted by a conglomeration of mega corporations to procure information as your primary goal on the CFD epidemic. The five of you exit the area, and we'll say you make your way out of the diner to get a little quiet, maybe, and decide on your next steps.
Do y'all want to meet up somewhere a little more private than this? Introduce each other?
Well, I have a place. If you are you familiar with Underground Dossier yet?
No. I mean, we just walk straight over here. I got no clue what's in there.
The summary is basically what he already told you, that Stone Tech Labs is leading up the efforts to investigate. It suggests that there are two major avenues of exploration that you can check in with Stone Tech or other laboratories to see what their research is putting together and if they have any suggestions. Primary suggestion is checking with the local fixers. In the bathroom, Roxy steps aside and has a seat, recalls the message.
Foxy? Foxy? Where did you put me? This isn't my room. Can you come get me? I don't like it here.
At the door comes a loud knocking sound.
It's a small tablet-like monitor, and then I'm gonna use it to see if I can see on the cameras outside.
Okay. You pull up the monitor next to the bed, and outside is Georgia. You're gonna try and send her a direct message.
Tell me the password, Georgia, please. You know not to knock.
Rocket. Let me in.
Damn it. I'm gonna send another message. Password, Georgia, password.
I'm so cold. Why did you put me in this room?
I'm opening the fucking door.
The door slides open, and there's no one on the other side.
Take a little peek.
Yes,
See
you lock
nothing?
that door. Right now.
The door
Can I
knocks.
step outside?
The door knocks again.
Do not open that door
The door
again.
is currently open. A pair of blinking red lights behind his ears. As you draw your attention back towards Odin, he opens his mouth. And from both his mouth and the speakers at the back of the room, you hear...
Roxy? Roxy?
How the fuck am I the most trustworthy one here? What is this shit?
Well, I wouldn't count myself out quite yet. Would you mind please telling us, what the hell is going on here?
Please.
If everyone would just hold on a second.
Everyone follows out to Stone Tech Labs. Head into the lab front door. And at the front, you see not a person, but what is most likely an AI screen.
Mr. Smith, the scientist, is currently become injured, deceased.
Officer.
Hold on, I'll get him for
Alright, let's go
you.
left. Let's go left. This is fucked.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
A successful pushed roll. Everyone whose name is not Foxy Roxy.
Roxy. Roxy.
From the morgue door as you pass by. Everyone runs on by, makes their way to the back door. It doesn't appear to have a lock at all. It's just closed.
Is there any
kick
sort
it.
of...
It just slams open into the outside. It's early evening. The five of you walk out of the alleyway and head back towards the street so you can go head out for Lorenzo or whatever your plan was. And you see the line, the queue, outside of the Stone's Throw Diner.
Wait, what the fuck?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna
That's
walk
only
straight in.
supposed to be open from 6 to 8 a.m. It
You're-
can't.
Your watch
We
says
can-
5:30 a.m. Ah! I think it's all there. Damn it. It's got these white dots. Why are the white dots there? Alright, chat. Actually, I guess I can look at my own stream. Hold on. Are there white dots in every frame? What's there? Alright, chat.
No.
Yeah, there are. They're totally there. What the fuck? I don't know how to get rid of that. I have to figure that out.
Yes, there are.
Yeah, like right in the
That's
middle
all
of mine and then a little low in all of yours. There's a random
Tim.
white dot.
But it's negligible.
Oh, it blends in with my.
Yeah, it does.
White
Yours is hard to
goatee.
notice.
It does.
It's where it's marking where it's supposed to be.
Why the fuck is there a white dot?
I look like I'm pinching it.
It's not so negligible with me.
It's very obvious, like in my eye.
Let me sit up so you can't see how long.
There you go.
I thought it was called a beauty spot.
Yeah, it's a beauty mark. That's all it is. It's not a cursor. There's one in
it's
every
like
frame.
in all of the.
Yeah.
It's in all, like just the one.
It's got something to, I guess it must have something to do with the capture itself.
Yeah, because it's like if it's a frame.
Pepper, did you just zoom in? Do I have to remove your fucking camera because you decided to zoom? How dare you? You're also muted, by the way.
Still. Oh, okay. No puedo escuchar. We can't hear you.
Correct.
If
We
you try to
cannot hear
speak to
you.
her. No,
She's not trying to speak to us, though. She's
Yeah,
just,
she was like, I don't want to talk to you.
yeah,
That's
fuck
basically
y'all.
That's basically what she was like.
She's talking to me.
All
She
right.
said, I'm not
On
trying to talk to you.
psychic words.
Okay, chat. So there were a cavalcade of technical issues today. I actually had to swap all the way out of Streamlabs OBS into regular, so I suspect that many things will go wrong today. Among them, these random white dots. Not sure where they came from. Don't know how to get rid of them. We'll figure that out. Two, there's an overlay today. Unlike last week, all of the frames are in place, and everything looks cool. I assume you can hear us, since no one has said we are muted yet. I can see that my internet's being a little fucky, but it doesn't look like we're dropping too hard. So hopefully that's all okay. Let's do a quick check. I am missing one player in Foundry.
Oh. Say less. Whoopsie.
You hate to see it.
Indeed, indeed. Good. I'm
Well,
glad you can hear
muted
it,
at
Sarb. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the recap. I'm gonna try and put those out every week, and help everybody, including myself and the players, keep up. That way, people who are taking notes get a second chance. People who aren't taking notes will get their first chance. I'm just gonna leave it there. I have more to say about that, but I think I will not. I will leave it to mystery. Alrighty. I think we're all good. I think we're all in place. I should probably turn on the music in Foundry. A little background. There it is. Something we haven't heard yet. Alright. I think it all looks good. We'll pray that it stays that way. Let's get going. So we're going to pick up somewhere different. We left off last week outside or inside of the diner, waiting for Dr. Long. But today, we're going to go backwards. Long ways backwards. A couple decades, maybe. Maybe just one. We're not quite sure. We're definitely going to cross the pond and head into Eastern Russia, where a friend of ours named Odin got his start. Pull up all my nonsense. Pick up in a boxing ring in a major stadium in Eastern Russia. Our friend, Odin Byrne, much younger at the time, has just won a major championship bout. Feels good about himself. He's happy. He knows he's got a big payday coming on the morrow when the debts and the payouts are settled. But for today, he's gonna meet up with his longtime friend, Dima. After every win, they go out for shitty meat, shitty beer, and a night on the town.
Dima, приятель! How are you doing tonight?
Oh, brethren, it goes great. How about yourself?
Oh, Crusher. Hey, that fight hit me square on side of the face. It took my head spinning right around, but I came back with hook. Everything turned out perfectly fine after connect right on his jaw. I am feeling on top of world.
Dima and Odin commiserate on their good fortune, on Odin's success, and make to exit the stadium. Seems a little.
Dima, I am Odin. I am number one. Number one.
Olden, yes, Olden number one. Let's go celebrate.
To the look. It's wonderful. There's wonderful bar. They have best vodka in town over this way. It's not Trash Bowl. It is actually vodka, which is unbelievable given prices that they have. I would not believe it. And you know what? After tonight, I will treat you to the best vodka in town, Dima. I will treat you to the best vodka in town.
Dima and Odin.
I will get my winnings, and things will be great.
Dima and Odin head for Dima's car, as Odin's not usually fit to drive after the match, given that he's usually been punched in the face a few times. They make their way outside, around the alley from the kind of service entrance, and head for the parking lot. In the parking lot, at Dima's car, is an unpleasant surprise. Standing near Odin's car and leaning on his hood are 3 tall gentlemen. Behind the one leaning on the car looks kind of important. He's wearing a nicer suit. He looks like he might be the one who calls the shots, because the 2 standing in front of him... Is there? How strange. Because the 2 standing in front of him are thuggish. Larger, more muscular, both carrying assault rifles.
Children.
As they approach, boss type stands up, looks over. Odin!
Oh, Zasha, I did not expect to see you tonight.
You did not expect to see me tonight after we agreed that you would throw the fight and you would get paid double what you're going to make tomorrow. Instead, you decide to win, which we all knew you could. This was not important. What was important for the family is that you threw the fight, and you didn't. You knocked out our fighter. You ruined our bet. We lost millions, Odin.
You did not lose millions. I am now champion. You win millions next time, yeah?
No, Odin. Not next time. There is no next time. He kind of leans forward and just gives a kind of nod of the head and shoulder towards one of the thugs who pulls back the slide on his assault rifle.
No, we do not do this here. I go to charge him.
Dima, realizing his friend is in trouble, just bulls up and rushes the thug pulling the slide on his rifle. Charges into the man, bulldozing him over, and they begin to briefly wrestle on the ground.
Dima, no!
A quick exchange, and Dima comes away with the assault rifle. He rolls off on the ground and makes the stand before a singular burst of bullets rats off from the other gun. Into Dima's gut.
Oh no.
Dima lies on the ground, rapidly bleeding from a series of puncture wounds through his stomach, seemingly unable to move his legs.
Olden, take care of these.
He tosses Odin the gun, realizing that he probably isn't even able to stand.
Fuck. Dima, put on the shiv. And Odin is bolting.
Saja
as the gun clatters onto the ground.
As the gun clatters to the ground and Odin flees the scene. While Dima lays there bleeding, he looks down. Do not worry, Dima. We'll fix you up. We fade out of this scene. We transition back in time to the present day. Outside, that's the character screen. Good job. Right? Of the Stone's Throw Diner. All right, now let's talk about this echoey distortion thing. So you guys hear me fine, but they all sound...
Yeah.
Testing. Check.
Yeah, your voice sounds normal. Everybody else has this like going through a computer reverb. You ever watch
I bet it's over here.
the Lawnmower Man? We all sound like the Lawnmower Man. Also, if you haven't seen the movie Lawnmower Man, don't see it. It's very stupid. Much better ways to spend your time. Much better sci-fi, much better suspense.
Unless
I
they decide to
think
spot
Nikita.
us at some point, and then definitely go and see it. It's the best movie you've ever seen.
Unless what?
I said unless they sponsor us, and then at that point, it's the best movie we've ever seen.
Facts.
Oh man.
Facts.
If we could get sponsored by a movie made 25 years ago or whatever the hell, oof, that'd be incredible.
Everything's in rotation.
That's true. Fucking imagine remaking that. I mean, actually, it wouldn't even be that weird. It'd actually be super normal to remake it now. Like back then, like having a disembodied voice controlling all your fucking electronics in your house and murdering people, that's scary and crazy. Now that's just Alexa. I mean, an Alexa killing you, that's not that strange. I'm sure Alexa's killed all kinds of people. Sounds like she has. Stone cold voice.
All right. Testing. I should sound fine. I expect they should now sound fine. Please assist us, chat.
Testing.
Hey, Digiog.
Now beginning testing.
Good evening. This is a test.
Yeah, it's fine, I believe.
Good.
It works fine, I think.
OBS pulls audio sources slightly differently than Slobs did. Not a problem. Alrighty. So, we had our little backstory exposition scene. Just kind of testing that out, seeing if you guys, the players, and you guys, the viewers, guys and gals, sorry, we're not being sexist here, seeing if everybody is a fan of using this to kind of, in a storytelling capacity, expose a little bit more about our characters rather than having to have a player tell you about themselves. I feel very pale today. Oh well, something to fix other times. We pick up today. At the end of last session, we had split the party. 2 people had gone off to Roxy's pad, her personal flat, not one of her hideaways. And the other 3 had headed for the diner. 2 remained inside, one of which is taking a nap, and the other is drinking some strong coffee. And the final is standing outside the door, watching as what appears to be a shift change is going on across the street, which is mostly bizarre because while they were there, the party did not see any security. In fact, they didn't see any humans at all, except for a brief run-in at the physical lab, but no actual interaction. Let's pick up with our duo headed for Roxy's flat. The 2 of you were given an address. It's not very close on foot. It's probably an hour's walk on foot, but you could catch a ride and make it there not too long. You guys, it's very late morning, very early the next day. How are you feeling? Would you like, are you looking for a brisk morning walk? Or do you think you would have caught a cab or called a ride?
Well, Roxy doesn't take walks. She takes cabs, so we would have probably taken a cab.
Good point.
Upon her request.
Alrighty.
That is fine. You want to sleep or should I?
Well, I really don't mind taking a little bit of a cat nap myself, but I mean, if we're speaking about, being more cautious, I suppose I can stay up while you rest.
All right, I appreciate that.
No problem.
Alrighty.
We're at my flat, right?
You take the cab ride, and you do, in fact, successfully arrive at the flat, yes.
Okay.
Head inside. Everything seems very normal, aside from the fact that George is not there. Which may or may not have been an expectation. I mean, she was supposed to be there, but given what's happened recently, maybe you weren't expecting her.
I'm gonna look at Odin as we're walking in, and as I see that she's not there, and say, "Well, I suppose I should have expected this with all the events that happened, but I was still hoping that perhaps she'd still be here. It's more concerning to me that she's not, and knowing all of those things that went down, I don't know why she would be messing with us. It doesn't make any sense unless perhaps someone's influencing her, or I don't even know. It's quite strange.
It did not seem like trolling, yeah?
Well, I mean, the George and I have a very distinct understanding that, to be quite frank, outside of business, we're not that forthcoming about a lot of things. I mean, I took her under my wing here because I knew she was going through a lot with the CFD, but I really didn't expect her to know exactly where that hidden pad that I own is. That one was very new. I don't think I've ever taken her there. So I'm a little suspicious, I guess. I don't know. It's quite possible that she knew all along. I have no idea what she knows and doesn't know, but yeah.
I suppose it could be, you said she could be hacker, so she might have trace on phone. Do you want me to examine Comlink?
Yes, actually, that would be wonderful if you don't mind.
Sure. Let me take a look.
Let me take those hard drives. I have a safe, and I keep my most precious items in it, and I'll put those in there as well.
Okay. And then we will spend some time examining those after both of us take catnap, yeah?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. I'll take a look at phone, sleep, you sleep. Things go fine.
Okay. So you head into the flat. You lock up the physical drive in the bag inside of a safe, and you decide to take turns at nap time. Who's going first?
Odin.
Alrighty. Odin. Where does Odin sleep? You sending him to your bed or the couch?
Well, I have multiple bedrooms, so he's gonna take one of the guest rooms.
Spare bed.
Okay.
Alrighty. We see Odin walk off into the spare bedroom. Maybe take off his coat, but maybe that's all he really needs, as he's exhausted as it is, and collapse into the bed. Grab a couple of hours. While he sleeps, are there any things you'd like to be doing?
I'm probably gonna go into where I have Georgia in one of the the other rooms, and see if I can't find any trace of someone else being there, anything out of place, that sort of thing, and then make sure the rest of my place is still where I left it as well.
Okay. Why don't you make me a spot hidden check? Looks like a regular success. The regular success. You take a look around your place. Everything looks in order. You can see maybe a small kind of night bag, like a small duffel with George's clothes in them from back when your friend and bouncer dropped her off at your place.
Mm-hmm.
But unless she happened to be in the same bed that Odin is now in, nothing else looks disturbed. None of the sheets are moved. None of the blankets have been used. Either she came inside and almost immediately left, or she was never here.
Okay. That's definitely weird. Okay. I'm just gonna take note of that. Seems like if she left, she kind of just got up and went out the door. So, question about when we got there. I assume because of that we came in, I unlocked the door, nothing was open,
Nothing seemed out of
as we were
place.
going in. Okay. Okay. And everything was in my vault, my safe.
Everything that you left there, yes.
Perfect. All right. Okay.
Alrighty. We'll cut scenes back towards the diner. As previously mentioned, the shift change is happening outside. Key, you watch and see security personnel leaving the building. What's going through your mind right now?
They must have cleaned that up quickly. Interesting that they would. Who was in there? This doesn't seem right. Just utter confusion. Like, were there people in there we couldn't see that
Right.
are just changing shifts as normally? Was that all set up for us?
As you ponder
Did they
this,
lock it down as quickly as we left?
as you ponder this, the doors open again. Just a moment, like as they're leaving the platform and headed for the steps, the doors open again. And Dr. Ian Long comes running out. He kind of waves to the security guards and catches up to them very quickly. They have a brief conversation far away across the street. Not something you can hear, but they're obviously talking to each other. They share a laugh. Maybe someone told a joke. A quick wave, and the security personnel turn for the car park up the street. Dr. Long turns for the street to head for you.
I'm gonna just stand directly in front of the door and cross my arms.
He approaches and notices you about halfway across the street and gets to the side and looks a little perplexed. Good morning. It's early. You have success so soon.
We had something. So we dropped by your labs yesterday afternoon.
Yes, I received a message that you came, but when I came out to greet you, you were gone. I assumed you couldn't wait.
What time did you get that message?
Oh, a few minutes after 3.
Yeah, that's when we showed up.
Right, and I replied. I sent a message to the AI that I was finishing a report and I'd be out in 15. But I came out in, I think, 15, and you were gone.
There might have been a problem with your reception bot because, it was looping, talking about security breaches, malfunctioning, wasn't willing to permit us, all kinds of things.
Security breaches? We didn't have any breaches yesterday.
Did you have any gas leaks?
I don't think we have any gas in the building.
What kind of lab are you running? You don't have any gas.
A research laboratory that doesn't rely on gaseous fumes.
Okay.
We have electro cutters for everything that they used to use fire for.
Not even any helium?
Certainly not. Helium, the planet's run out of helium almost 5 decades ago.
Oh.
I realize you're a little old, but I didn't think you were losing your memories.
What about Synthelium?
Synthelium is not an approved substance here in Bay of Plenty. You remember, I guess 8 years ago, there was that clown panic.
Oh, yeah.
So, Synthelium kind of outlawed in the Bay since then.
Wow, that's got to set doctors back decades.
It doesn't help, but there are alternatives, and we in the scientific community have more than they do.
That's fair. But anyway, we showed up a little bit after 3. Your AI's going crazy, talking about security breach, security failure, lab compromised, all kinds of stuff.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, it was insane. And so, fearing for your life and the life of the scientist, we immediately try the door. It's locked.
Of course.
Smash the door. Well, unlock the door. Unlocked it. Sorry. And drones pop down, start shooting at us. We disabled those, run down there on the hall through the hallway, like looking for you, trying to get you and the scientist out of the building safely. And lockdown procedures start going off and all kinds of stuff. Eventually, we run out the back door, and what seemed like 30 minutes, all of a sudden, it's this morning.
That's quite the tale, sir. But
it's insane. But I've never experienced anything like it.
We have no reports of security breaches, no lockdowns.
Do you have security footage?
Of course.
I think you might want to review what it shows when we showed up.
Oh, we most certainly will, especially if the AI malfunctioned. We use that for everything. We can't have that, but if you had run through the building, we'd have seen you. I was there.
One would expect.
Almost all night. I think I got 2 hours sleep and then came back in.
So if we walk over to that building right there, would you give us clearance to review the tapes?
I'll review them with you, yes. I'm quite concerned.
What do we got? We got 20 minutes before open. You want to go now?
We'll have to put it on fast forward.
All right.
Is it just you? Do you have your... all right. I'll meet you across the street then. Let me go ahead and set the AI up.
Stay with me. This is weird.
What's weird?
All of this. I'm not letting you out of my sight after yesterday.
Oh, well, all right. Duly noted. Edwin, you are so deep in your sleep, nothing wakes you. Like, there's someone in the bar, like, drops a glass, it shatters, nothing. You're out. Levi, both Key and Dr. Long enter the diner.
Levi, Edwin, get up. We're going across the street. We're going to look at the security footage from yesterday. Evidently, we're the only ones who lived through that.
I see that you seem to be fine, Doctor.
Of course. Why wouldn't I be?
Well, we weren't sure after yesterday. Well, earlier today.
Yes, I've heard a strange tale. Let's go review the security footage. I'm concerned that you might have inhaled some noxious fumes.
Indeed.
I am still asleep.
Yes, he hasn't moved an inch.
I'm gonna go put my arm, jostle him.
Not budging.
I'm gonna stand him up physically.
Edwin, roll sanity for me.
Oh no.
Sanity roll?
I don't know.
Edwin, roll a 1d4, please. You lose 2 sanity. Edwin, as they begin to jostle you, you find yourself in the grips of a nightmare. You are in your old job, back when you were actually an engineer, doing engineer's work, not running gigs. You were at a construction site trying to assist in the efforts of a crew that wasn't yours. You know, something like your company sent you as a consultant. You and another member of your team. I wouldn't call him a friend, but he's a work friend. You know the difference. And the two of you head out, and you're there to advise on a fairly unique electrical grid here that's supposed to be integrating both power and data to run through this kind of new building. From an engineer's perspective, this is going to be a pain because they let the architect have all of his fun, which means all of your work is 10 times harder. You walk through the building, pointing out the necessary points of architecture that are just not possible from a functionality standpoint. And you spend most of the day there. There's a lot more problems than you expected in the building itself. Maybe you did expect that, given that architects are artists more than they are engineers. And as night falls, Most of the construction crew has gone home. It's just you and the crew boss. He yawns and guys, I really gotta get going. The wife's gonna be upset. I know this is taking all day. I know you're gonna be here tomorrow. I'm sorry. This is just the way it is. I'm not paying for the building. I'm just building it. Can we pick this up in the morning? He looks to you.
Yeah, I reckon we can.
Great. All right, I'm gonna hit my car's out back. I'll see you tomorrow. He splits off from you, heads for the other side of the building where there's another staircase that leads to the back door, or at least the back exit, since there probably aren't doors on the structure yet. And then you and your partner head for the front. Outside, you see that your car is currently on fire. And there are a pair of heavily chromed gangers dancing around it as if it was some sort of ritual sacrifice to their metal god.
What in Sam Hill? Hey, what are y'all doing by my car?
They turn around in surprise. Sacrifice! And throw another Molotov into the center of the inferno. The other turns around, pulls out a gun, and pulls the trigger, obliterating your work buddy of 6 years on like just in an instant. Blood sprays everywhere. He yells, "For the metal goal!" He then turns the gun towards you.
I want to grab my buddy as a shield, or I would attempt to.
Okay. You pick up your dying, not quite dead friend. You hear it like you probably thought he was dead. He's got a lot of bullet holes in him, but as you pick him up, he groans. Oh.
Well, knowing that, now I'm gonna try and I'm still gonna try and kind of halfway use him as a shield, but try and drag him to safety.
Okay. So you mostly use him as a shield, as another salvo from the rifle blasts into him, maybe giving you a couple scars as they scrape or or maybe even pass through a layer of skin on your arms and shoulders. But you manage to make it to the side of the car park. You can drop him and make your escape.
Is he dead before?
Oh,
I
he's
leave?
real dead.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure before. I would attempt to go out the backside at that point and try and catch the boss.
You do. You run out to the far side, manage to leap into the boss's open window as he's trying to drive out. He freaks out, but you can compel him that he needs to drive before you explain, as he can see you, openly bleeding from several cuts on your arms. As if that weren't bad enough, as dreams are wont to do, time fast forwards a little. You find yourself standing trial for the murder of your friend. Key. Levi. Edwin wakes with a start, seeming to profess that his innocence with great fervor.
Okay, I think you're dreaming there.
Calm down there, buddy. Look, we believe you. We're not the ones you have to convince.
Well, we're in a diner. I'm Key. This is Levi. Dr. Long. Hello.
just your friendly neighborhood, drifter. Don't worry about it. I didn't see anything. I don't say anything.
Edwin, you okay?
You were kind of knocked out cold there. We've been trying to wake you for a little bit of time here.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, we're going to take a little trip across the street back to Stone Tech Labs. Dr. Long's going to let us review the footage from when we were there, because evidently nobody knows anything about what we went through yesterday. I'll take a look at that, and then we'll get you somewhere where you can get some sleep, and I'm sure we'll join you at some point.
Okay.
Just another 30 minutes, dude. Hang in there. Sorry, Dr. Long. It's been a long night. Or an extremely short one, depending on how you look at it, but we are fucking tired.
Edwin, you stand and you got a cat nap in. You're definitely better than you were. You're still gonna need to sleep in the relatively near future. You shake off the effects of the dream. It's just a nightmare. Just a nightmare.
Grab a cup of coffee, hand it to him. Chug that real quick. It's gross, but it'll help you out. Just gotta make it 30 minutes.
I think a cat nap really helped me. I'm good now. Thank you.
All right. Don't want any more wakings and ramblings. We already got enough issues with not knowing where we are, what's going on, evidently.
Sorry, I was just sleeping a lot. I was a little more tired than I thought I was. I was sleeping pretty hard. That's my mistake.
It was a crazy night, like I said, man. Let's get moving.
Alrighty, make your way across to Stone Tech Labs. Dr. Long leads you into the front. The AI shows up. Randy forgot what setting his robot voice is. It's on... I don't think this one works. Maybe this? Hello? Is this robot-y? Turn on my monitor. Oh yeah, that's perfect, great. It was a little higher pitched though.
Hello. Yeah. Good morning.
Hi.
Long leads you up towards the AI and gestures over and we'll be going into the security room. I trust there's no issue.
No, of course not.
He leads you off towards the secure door that you passed through last night.
Is it the same layout that we remember?
It feels the same, yeah.
Yeah, it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, it looks exactly the same. Doesn't show any of the signs of failure that you were seeing before.
Just a certain off note, and certainly not.
Doctor, out of curiosity, I'm not sure if you would know, but let's say hypothetically, someone tried to break into these doors. Would there be any security systems?
Oh, of course. Some of our work is...
Don't tell me. Would it happen to be turrets that drop down from the ceiling?
Yes, he points up to the same corners you expected them to be in. Some of our work is for high-value mega corporations. They've outfitted our labs with top-of-the-line security.
I'm sure they would never be stopped by a simple hack. Yes, of course.
Oh, I mean, I suppose it's possible. I wouldn't call it simple, but yes, I mean, extremely advanced hacking is a possible point of failure for many physical network-connected devices.
I'm just gonna look at Key, like...
Well, shall we? I mean, as they approaches the door, they just glide open. Leads you down the hall towards the data science lab and turns left at a door that was not there yesterday. I'm so glad we had this security office put in. We used to have a private security company that was external to the building. Their response times were awful. So we had an in-house team set up and an annexed room built on top of our structure.
Oh, when did you put this in?
Oh, perhaps 10 years back.
Okay, interesting.
I've been in charge of the lab for
here we go.
14 years, so yes, it must have been about 10.
Well, how about what prompted y'all to put this in, just by chance?
Oh, it wasn't by chance. We work for many high-value mega corporations. There are constantly efforts at stealing our research, stealing our test subjects, stealing our data. We undergo an attempted incursion probably once a year.
Oh. Interesting.
I don't know. 10 years back, 4 years into my tenure, I was being promoted, becoming head of the lab, and I made it a necessity of my promotion that I would take ownership of the lab. Yes, of course, but only if they provided an enhanced security personnel and team.
Okay, so there's no incursions that really stand out.
Yes, of course. Many incursions that stand out, especially before my tenure.
Well, I'm specifically looking in that 10-year range right before you built this.
No. In the first 4 years before the security office was added, we lost a little bit of data due to a hack, and one of our delivery bots went missing temporarily, and we discovered 6 months later was replaced by a copy that had stolen some files. Luckily, we had recently digitized those files, so we didn't lose anything.
Okay, just curious. Let's look at that camera footage.
Absolutely. You head into the security office, and the pair of security guards there look up. One, not having been given warning, pulls his gun. Well, maybe not pulls, but like reaches for his sidearm. But then spots Dr. Long. Sorry, Francis. My apologies. I had intended to warn you, but we were in a hurry. It's all right, boss. What do you need? Oh, well, we'd like to look at the security footage from yesterday. Let's say between the hours of 3 and 7. He looks over at Key.
Yeah, a little bit after 3.
May I ask what
specifically when we came in and spoke to the AI?
What is the security guard wearing, by the way?
They both have what looks like. Okay, in character, in the world of cyberpunk, there are a lot of like private security firms, corpo level militias, like private security office and stuff like that. So they look like they are trained private security, wearing a uniform that is largely black and could be considered comfortable but tactical.
Right. Okay. But no, like any specific markings or engravings or like insignias that would.
You might see like an emblem in black on black. Like you'd have to really go looking for it if you're trying, but there is one on the shirt.
Can I see it?
You can definitely see it. The question is like, can you make it out well enough to make a roll? Why don't you roll intelligence for me?
Okay.
That's a regular success. Sure. It comes in as a chevron, that stylized upward-facing V, and then like a long line beneath that, and then a stylized QS beneath those.
Noted. Okay.
Alrighty. So he said 3 to 7. You said yeah, just after 3. So, yes, just after. Yeah, right. All right, boss. Here you go. And he presses some buttons, slides one of the camera, like the camera feed slider, and here we are. Are you looking for anything in particular? I suppose. Oh yes, I see this gentleman right here. He points to you and the party walking in about 3:02 p.m. yesterday.
Yeah, play that. Turn the speakers on.
All right. Plays it, turns it up a little, and you hear a very familiar scene right up until the point at which you ask to speak to Dr. Long. The AI says something to the effect of,
I will page him. Just a moment.
a moment passes and she comes back.
Dr. Long has informed me that he will be available in 15 minutes.
And what do?
You say, all right, we'll wait. And you take seats in the area, the receiving area. Hang out.
This is clearly tampered with. This is not the same scenario that we faced yesterday, Doctor.
As he slides through it, about 3 minutes pass. Key stands up, looking impatient, says something to the group quietly under his breath, and the group leaves. I came outside, as you can see, and he kind of nudges the security officer to move it forward. See there, yes, 15 minutes later, 17 minutes, apologies. I came outside and you were gone.
And so during this time between you being in your office doing whatever and you coming outside, did you happen to pass anybody on your way to the door? Were there others just
My
inside of the
colleagues,
building?
yes, of course.
When did you leave?
For what?
Just the office.
To
When
come
did
to
everyone
you?
leave? No, like the day. When did you end the day? Just this morning? Or?
2 a.m., ran home, took a quick nap, came back about 4:30.
Check it.
Do you have footage of the outside?
How
The
about-
exterior, yes, the receiving area
Yeah.
and the front entrance.
Can you, we stand up and leave here. Can you spot if do we walk away? Did we get into a car?
Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead. All right. Switches tapes to the outside feed, and you see yourselves walk outside. Another kind of like hushed conversation. You split off. Odin and Edwin head north. Roxy heads south alone. And both Key and Levi head back to the diner.
Super weird, but can we also check at 3 a.m. ish?
Sure. I wouldn't have been here during that hour, but yes, of course. He slides over the exterior front door feed to 3 a.m. where nothing's happening.
Okay, so thank you so much for being as...
He looks down at his watch.
Yeah, it's gracious as you have been. I know we have...
Last question.
Just one more thing. Can we check a room that I know about? It's like this room that has this metal rack and it holds these metallic plates. If you like, can we go and see
kitchen?
those? No. Key, the server. You know more about.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Computer room.
No,
It has actual
we
computers
should
that you have
lead
to
you there.
touch.
Sorry, was that Edwin?
No.
We should build to kind of sort of lead you there, maybe.
Lead me there. How would you know anything about the interior of the lab?
As we told you, well, we were here.
According to the
footage-
cameras, you weren't.
Let us show you.
I'd
No,
rather
we
you
need to
just
get
told
back over
me.
to the diner.
And
We
besides,
need
I
to
don't
get
have the
back over.
time.
Come on, guys. Clearly, we had a strange night. We've seen the view of what happened last night. So the question is, where did we go from there? Dr. Long,
Agreed.
security team, thank you guys so much for your patience. We're
perhaps
just trying to put together the events.
Swamp
that
gases reflecting off the moons of Venus or something.
Unfortunately, that seems more plausible than whatever I'm feeling right now. So yeah, let's get over to the diner. See if they have an old ass security camera sitting around.
He leads you back outside. Back in the flat. Odin, you got about 45 minutes of sleep under your belt. You're brought to waking.
Mm-hmm.
Something's brushing at your arm, pulling at the covers.
I turn my head to look.
There's a cat.
I raise an eyebrow and look at the cat. What can I get a description of the cat?
I don't know. What kind of cat do you think you own, Roxy?
This is a very intelligent, robotic cat. It is hot pink. It has heart pupils. And it's extremely cute.
Does it have a collar on it?
Yes, it has a collar with a little heart-shaped pendant, and her name is written on there.
What's her name?
Her name is Petal.
Oh.
Petal as in bicycle pedal or petal as in flower
No,
petal?
Petal as in flower petal.
Okay.
I reach over to let the cat sniff my hand,
The cat
assuming it's a
leans
regular cat.
forward, does put its face near your hand. Doesn't make like a sniffing motion, and it doesn't have lungs or anything. But
Right.
then it kind of sits up, sits down, and then licks itself once, turns in a circle, and leaves the room.
Strange cat. Okay, back to sleep cycles.
Roxy, your RoboCat pedal, you paid a great deal of money for, comes out and uploads its findings to your internal systems.
That's my girl. You're such a sweetheart. And then I give her a little rub on the ears and stuff.
By and large, it tells you some things you would pretty much expect. Odin's a healthy gentleman with a good amount of cyber in him, but nowhere near becoming a chrome semi-human monstrosity. His current platelet counts, the oxygen levels in his blood, all of it seems within normal ranges for the cyberpunk future. It also tells you that his brain activity seems abnormally high in the long-term memory zones. But other than that, he seems normal.
Okay.
Time continues to pass. We head back to the diner. Trio, you make your way back to the diner.
Just barging straight in, going to the counter.
Alrighty.
Did y'all got anybody here that was howdy? Y'all got anybody here that was on shift yesterday around 3 o'clock?
PM?
Yeah.
Well, we do the cook change at noon. We do the waitress change every 4 hours. No, probably not. One of the an old guy, like 65 to 85, turns around in his stool, big old giant ass mug of coffee. I was here.
Ah, perfect. Thank you, sir. Do you remember us walking through that door, me and my friend Levi here, dressed exactly like this yesterday around 3:30?
Well, times gets away from me. I got here yesterday and I had a bacon egg melt and some coffee. And then I talked with Ellie for, a while. And I figure I ought to get up, stretch my legs. Doctor says you got to stretch your legs, get them blood clots. And so I got up and I walked about. I went over to the booth.
I'm gonna start looking around for something to smoke.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start
He's gonna try and bum a cyber cigarette.
It's does anybody have? While he's talking, because it's obviously this is gonna take a few. So
I walked over to the booth, said hi to my old boy Consuelo, and he said howdy, and in his own way. He points to like a tall stuffed bear, and came back and sat back down. Figured it was time for my afternoon coffee, so I ordered a coffee again from Ellie. Had to had shifted off, and so I got who was in yesterday. I don't reckon, but then I had my afternoon patty melt. Loved a patty melt. It's got good patty melts here. You should ask for one. It's good. And then I figured it's time to stretch my legs again. Doctor says you got to stretch your legs.
And while he's still listening to him, I'm gonna walk over to the waitress. You don't happen to have any security footage of the perimeter of this building, do you?
To be honest, we rely on the lab for security.
Their camera showed us walking in here.
Can you tell me who was on the shift at about 3 a.m. this morning?
A.m.? Nobody.
Yeah.
Close at 1.
So
we came in here at 3:30 yesterday.
You're not there, Key. You're listening to the old man. And I had my patty melt. It was melted just
Yeah, so we
right.
came in about 3:30 yesterday. Did you see us?
Oh, what time is 3:30? Is that after the afternoon patty melt?
Yeah, right after.
Right after? Well, I remember I had to drain the vein, so I went out after my patty melt to the bathroom, and I did my business as one does, and well, the
Any
zipper
other
got
regulars
stuck.
here yesterday afternoon?
Regulars? Well, there's Coachula. Gestures to the bear. And, I do recall a disturbance outside in the afternoon after the afternoon patty melt.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I'm long past my fighting years, and I didn't want to get involved, so I just, drank my coffee. But I remember hearing something about like there was a theft in progress, and I feel like I recall somebody saying something about ripping a face off. Does that help?
Well, that's very interesting. I mean, maybe. Unfortunately, everything else that you've said has kind of led me to cast doubt on everything that followed, but I guess it helps in its own way. It's better than nothing, sir.
I'm
Thank
glad
you
to
for
be
your
of
time.
assistance there, young feller. You make sure you go ask Coachula for the goods, or you won't be sorry.
Yeah. How old do you think I am?
Well, I'm about 18 dickety 7, and you look like you couldn't be 6 hairs past a whippersnapper, so I don't know, some? We had to say dickety because the Germans took our word for 0.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I hope you have a great, I don't even know what time it is, a great day.
You
And,
too, that's very kind of you, young feller.
Tell Kachita I said hello.
Coachula.
Kachula and Kachula, both of them.
Conchita died. She can't say or nothing.
I'm sorry. Sorry for your loss, sir.
Well, she was old. It happens.
It's true. Eventually, we all have to go. I'm gonna pat him on the shoulder and get up and go back to my buds.
Okay. You catch up with Levi, who seems to be looking around for other clues.
How's Edwin?
How is Edwin? How you feeling over there, Ed?
I've been thinking, like I've not really been listening to what's going on with these guys. He's been real deep in thought, thinking about that dream that he had. He just can't. He's like, it just felt so. It's just too real. And so he realizes that he's doing this and kind of snaps out of it and tries to kind of like He immediately recognizes that this old man's not going to tell us anything important, so he goes over to where Levi's at and kind of listens in on their conversation.
We up to, Levi?
Is it a waiter or a waitress?
You bummed a smoke, and the waiter who kind of floats and does coffee is the one you can find the quickest. The waitress who mans the bar, the orders, is over at the counter.
I'll go over to the waitress and like sit.
Okay. Coffee?
No, thank you, not this time. Do you have any water by chance? It's a rare commodity.
Synth water? Filtro?
I suppose that will do.
Tap?
No, absolutely not.
I didn't think so, but you know. All right.
You trying to poison me or what?
Look, some people will take what they can get for free.
That is fair. I used to live that type of life as well.
Well, I'm glad you made it out, honey.
So, I've heard that no one is on shift at 3 a.m. here.
We close at 1.
Yes. Have you had any disturbances lately? Like,
Well,
anything odd happening over at the lab or anything odd?
With the number of people outside, sure, every day.
Yes, why are they standing outside? Is it all for the doctor?
It is. They are, the uninvited who are hoping to get an opportunity. They don't have enough street cred to be considered worthy of the job. But
Perhaps
if a few people were to show up and need an extra hand, here they are.
And do you need an extra hand?
Me?
I'll say as I lean forward with a small smile.
Oh, well, I mean, I wouldn't oppose an extra hand at any given time, I suppose. Well, I mean, not while I'm working, but
Yes,
I mean,
of
maybe
course,
while
if
I'm
I could-
working. You know, everyone's into different things.
Can I just get your information really quickly? And I'll be on my way. I actually have some things that I need to do, but perhaps later.
She gives you a long look, and you know, you get that very quick up down. Sure. You have your phone?
Yes, of course. I'll hand it.
You pull out your ancient flip phone or whatever. It's like,
Yes, of course.
oh, I see. Off the
It's
grid,
a-
are we?
Some things are kept better that way.
Certainly, certainly. She'll put in her phone the old-fashioned way.
Still pulling them even without the technology.
That's
Let's get it.
right.
Anyway, back on the story. Just had thank you. Well, I guess we'll be on our way. I think me and my friends have a few things that we need to look into, but you'll certainly hear from me again.
Looking forward to it.
Also, don't hesitate to call me first.
Oh, you're one of those. Well, we'll talk soon.
And I'm gonna turn, and as Key is walking towards me, I just had the most productive conversation with this waitress. Turns out, she knows absolutely nothing, but she's really attractive, and I got her number. So that's all that's important right now. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to tell us about the camera footage. I'm actually not sure if that camera footage was real, but at this point, I don't know if our memories are deceiving us.
Let's get a ride back to Roxy's place, and we'll go over our findings there.
Are you sure you want to go back to Roxy's place after everything that happened yesterday? Wouldn't you prefer to talk between just us for a moment?
You know, that was actually pretty weird, and in hindsight, not secure at all. Let's just step outside.
Yes, please.
Dr. Long, thank you for your time. I hope your appointments go well today.
Gentlemen, I look forward to hearing successful work from you.
Yeah, hopefully the rest of the days are a little more productive than this.
Yes, avoid gas leaks.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I'm gonna go open the door and step outside.
Alrighty.
So, gentlemen, what we have here is a strange situation that I have never encountered in my life, and it seems that all sorts of things are happening. First of all, what was that yesterday at Roxy's apartment?
I still don't know.
You know,
She
like-
seemed genuinely surprised by it all as well, given her demonic voice that came out. You know,
Exactly. That's actually what I was referring to. Yes, her ghost friend was interesting, but can you really trust someone that can go from, Roxy, which is a major, not to, we all know, to a demonic voice that is yelling at us and telling us that we need to back off? I just don't know who she really is, or what her intentions are, for that matter.
honestly, not shutting down her security, not using the exterior camera. There's like a laundry list of things that were questionable or untrustworthy that happened. I mean, I have way more reasons to trust her, not to trust her than just that. But she seemed to be normal and have our back during the job. So I'm not sure what's up. And to be honest, if she did want to spy on us, and she did want to come up with something underhanded or devious, I don't think she would have staged it like that. So I got no clue.
I'm not saying that she has malintent. I'm just saying I am weary.
Oh, I'm beyond
the
weary. I
situation.
trust her the least of the group easily.
Well, Key, you're not the most reputable person yourself, I've noticed, but that's neither here nor there.
You literally don't know anything about me except that I want this mission done.
I know how you interact with people, and typically that is a prime motivation as to how you run your personal life and how you think inside of your own head.
Oh, there's your first mistake, thinking I have a personal life.
You concern me sometimes. Regardless.
Let's just keep our mind on the mission, my friend.
That's what I'm trying to focus on. You just keep pulling me away.
Oh.
Second of all.
You want my number 2?
Sure.
Just kidding, you already got it.
The lab. What happened?
Okay, so yeah, the lab, dude. That's real weird. They were being genuine. They took us through. The AI seemed like it knew something that we didn't. I don't trust their computer system at all. Dr. Long is telling us the truth, and the thing that really ties it all together is we just walked into a room that wasn't there last night or yesterday afternoon.
And the layout was the same. It felt the same. I knew where I was going, so obviously, clearly, we had been there, or made to believe that we had been there.
We went to a version of the version that is not in this world right now, but a version. Like you said, 10 years ago, that room wasn't there. That seems like a pretty big hint as to maybe we stepped out of time somehow.
You think, please, that's a joke. Hopefully you're not losing your mind that much. Yes.
Group hallucination.
Hold on, what?
That's why I was asking about 3 a.m. because the time frame would have been the only time frame that made sense for us to be there when nobody else was.
Are you saying that you agree with his time travel theory?
No.
Thank you.
That room just
at least you're saying.
No. Partially, but let's but it doesn't really make sense for us to be missing that much of the day either. Is the biggest part that I'm very concerned about that, just like you. But
something happened to our brains.
I agree. If I was alone, I would blame it on drugs. But since we were all together and we all recall the same things, you can't drug everybody at the same time and wake up at the same time, can you?
I mean, maybe, but the fact that we were all sharing that same hallucination, you can't do that. Unless we were hooked into some system somehow. So
it can't be a hallucination.
Could it?
Not one that I know of.
So the camera's lying. What? Why? But
no.
Then how did we not see anybody when we walked through? There's too many things I don't know.
Something happened to us yesterday that caused us to experience what we experienced. And it happened after we left the lab.
Well, not necessarily. Thinking about the time frame that we were all together and things started to get wild.
We saw the cameras. We went to the lab and we left. So the question is, what happened to us after we left that made this shit happen?
Now think about before we even got there.
Exactly. Maybe something happened at Roxy's hideout.
And that's what I'm kind of getting at is maybe some tomfoolery was going on there.
Oh, there certainly was.
Well, I mean, more than what we obviously saw. It's if she had a closed circuit, I don't understand how she got hacked or anything like that. It's just
Listen, I am not saying that I need to be against her or anything. I'm just saying, out of all of this group, I know that you two have my back. And at the end of the day, we need to be very wary of her. I actually think the boxer's cool. I like him. He seems very honest. You know, he's Russian. He's strong. He can protect me. I can't fight. Let's be honest. I like having him around. But Roxy makes me nervous. Because when you're in that line of work and you know how to get places where nobody else has been and you know information that nobody else has been, you know, you have a lot of secrets. And she seems like the type to have a lot of secrets.
You know, I trust two kinds of people: people with no secrets and people with all secrets. But these selective secrets, I agree.
Well, let's go. I think we should rendezvous with them before we lose another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got to get this guy to bed. Not to mention us soon after, before we end up like him.
Yes, we should rest.
So did they go? Did they go back to her hideout?
No. She said that there was another location. I believe that she. Did she give us the address? Can one of you do a?
Yeah, hang on, and I'm gonna look down at my wrist and
Why don't we just
use my wrist computer to figure out where we were.
She did give you the address to her flat.
Yes, I'm. You know, I just she did not hand it to me. So.
All right, I got this. I'll get us a ride, and I'll punch in, call the chauffeur to come get me at the diner. What day of the week is it?
Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get us a ride. I've still got this personality for another day. Before he gets back.
How's your family, by the way? Have you spoken with them since you left?
Are you referring to me or are you talking to
Edwin?
Oh, okay. I haven't.
I assume he does not have a
yet.
family, considering he's never mentioned them. But I don't want to pry.
I have
Not a
not
huge family.
spoken with them, but they're pretty far gone to be even trying to contact to begin with.
They're in that state. I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that. We'll figure it out. Hopefully.
Thank you. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I
We
can't
got
make
multiple
promises.
incentives to figure this out.
Yes, I don't like to make promises that I can't keep, but I'm hoping that we can figure something out to help. We'll see.
Oh yeah, lots of people with their brains scrambled over this. It's the
And
new
this is
cancer.
why, Key. I just don't. Let's go. Let's just go.
All right. Roxy, it's been about, I don't know, an hour and a half or so that you've been letting Odin nap. You take any major activities, anything you'd like to catch up on in that time?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm probably just resting on my couch, with Petal, just trying to recount the last 24 hours and put anything together that seems like a pattern or figure anything out that I can.
Why don't you roll Constitution for me? You're able to keep awake as you relax, but try not to get too relaxed. It has been about 26 hours, and, it's wearing on you.
Mm-hmm.
But about 90 minutes pass, and a knock comes at your door.
I will get up. I'm gonna have one of my manta blades. I can't remember what they're
Mantis blades.
called. Mantis blades.
Yes.
I'm gonna have one of those ready. I'm gonna look on my other arm at the camera that is outside of my front door to see if I can see who it is before I actually get over to the door.
You do. Looks like a young man, maybe late teens. He seems to be waiting impatiently with a large bundle in his hands. Knocks again. Miss! It's 6 a.m. I'm here to deliver the paper.
Have I ever gotten a paper before?
You always get a paper.
Does he always knock?
Someone usually does, or maybe they just leave it on the ground. Maybe he's a little overzealous. As you stand there contemplating what to do, he just drops the paper and leaves.
Cool. I'll retrieve that on my way out. I'm not gonna open the door though.
Okay. About 10 minutes later, Key, Edwin, and Levi, you roll up to the exterior of her flat. What are you doing?
I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna imitate the knocks from last night on the door.
Okay. Roxy, you hear a very familiar, loud, steady banging on the door.
I'm gonna look at my camera again.
I'm going to grab his arm.
Yeah, I want to stop him from doing that.
I'm going to grab his arm.
You get maybe one Roxy before the both of them snag you, and you spot your trio of compatriots on the camera.
And I'm going to like indistinctively, like just lecture him about why I said what I said earlier about him just being a bad person. I'm going to go on a rant about.
We went through the weirdest shit ever together.
But you have to understand. I get that this is a joke, but at the same time, you have to understand that she's probably traumatized. We're already weary of her. We already have these trust issues, and now you're making it worse by trying to scare her. She probably has this place armed. She probably has guns pointed at us, and you want to make somebody who's already that we're not sure about
lightening
have
the
more
mood
reason.
with the
That's
little
not
joke.
lightening the mood. That is the complete opposite, Key. And I don't understand why you just don't seem to care about your life. I don't understand.
Roxy, you can see on the camera that they're just hanging out, having a hushed argument.
While they're having this conversation, I have this very inconspicuous, hidden, small opening that I can let Petal out outside to check them out. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna send her out, and while they're having this conversation, she's just gonna roll up,
A random thing coming outside towards me.
So like you guys are hanging out having this conversation. The trio of you're lecturing Key, and this small, adorable RoboCat just kind of strolls up to you.
I'm pulling my gun and backing away immediately.
I'm stepping back.
Nope.
Oh, I don't like punt the cat, but I definitely like take my foot and shove the cat away. I'm like, fucking cats.
Like, I'm literally just like, like I think it's a bomb. Like for me, I think it's a bomb. I just
okay.
No.
I'm gonna send a message. Bring up like a little camera on her, and say, "I see all of you made it to my place. Please refrain from kicking my cat. She's very dear to me and also quite expensive. So, if you wouldn't do that again, it would bring me a lot of joy to know that I don't have to kick your ass right here on the pavement."
See if the door's unlocked.
It's not.
I just instantly just push the cat away again with my foot.
Roxy,
One of you may enter, and that is Levi. At this point, I don't care for Edwin or Key. Key is obviously problematic, and then Edwin just has a fucking problem with my cat, and I don't know why.
What are you even talking about? They pointing guns at the dang thing. What do you mean?
I'm literally like just putting okay before like while he's I'm literally tucking my gun back in like saying yeah Edwin as I pass him and like open like go into the room.
Yeah man, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
like calm down.
Okay, I'm sorry for my joke. We've been awake for a very long time. Can we please come inside
Your
and
ass is
recap?
in here, I swear to God.
We have new important information beyond hilarious jokes that only I thought was funny.
Yes, I need your opinion on something very dire.
Okay, well, I don't know if
Walking
you're
in the
being
building,
honest, but sure, come in.
All right.
As we're walking in, I say to Key, kind of, not only is she kind of demonic lady, she's a crazy cat lady too.
Probably some sort of security measure. You saw how wired her hideout ended up being.
All right, the three of
I
you
run
head
into these
inside.
a lot in rich dudes' houses. Poor people don't know about that tech. But these things, they're strapped to the gills of cameras.
I take small offense.
Hey, I was whispering. You didn't hear that.
Poor people.
Can I roll to hear that real quick?
Let's say you get your spidey senses tingle that you've been insulted.
Mm-hmm.
In the other room, Odin stretches awake, hearing the ruckus outside.
Oh. Oh, they need to know not to wake Boxer. Especially when he's sleeping very well.
Yeah, Levi, I'm sorry I didn't have you back there with Dr. Long, but I really, really, really didn't want to tell him that when we broke into their lab, that we tried to steal hard drives out of their servers.
Tried to. We
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of, that means that it wasn't it. Thank you for reminding me. We have hard drives to check.
We may have something tangible, or we may go to check and see them, and they're gone.
What is this, Twilight? Calm down. You're trying to reference back before. Ghosts don't exist, and what we have is physical proof that we were in there. Don't make
we
jokes
should
like that.
have if
They're
we were
there. They are there.
If we weren't actually there, we might not have shit.
Let's
Check them now.
just
Check
put-
them now.
Yeah. Just
Where
put
are
this
they?
argument to bed.
That's
Let's
true.
check
Where
them.
are they?
Roxy, do you have the drives?
Well, we put them in
Okay.
my vault. As far as I know, no one is coming or out of this place since we arrived here earlier, aside from you three. So, yes, we do in fact have them. Why
Let's
wouldn't
go
we?
take a look. I mean,
We'll tell you later. Let's just make sure that they're there for right now.
All right. Well, pardon me, but I'll need all of you to stay out here. I have a very important bunch of belongings in that safe, and I
Roxy,
don't really want you prying.
I feel like if you would allow just one of us to go in with you, it would be better.
Okay.
yeah, you trust Levi, right?
I will take Odin with me. How does
Oh.
that sound?
That's fine.
I'm gonna go over to.
Oh, what am I being volunteered for?
Apparently, the boys would like someone to escort me to my own safe because they don't trust me. So, you're the only one that I do trust enough to do that. So, shall we go to my safe that is in this other area?
Yes, we can go to safe. By the way, your comms were secure. It's unlikely they knew you were going to other place. Let's go check hard drives.
Sounds good. What a
Alrighty.
relief.
You head over to another side room where Roxy has a hidden panel safe in a wall. Slides it open, puts in her secret code, her biometrics, her other nonsense, her hollow biometrics, her cyber code, and opens it up. Just wide enough as necessary to grab the bag and not really expose any of the contents to you, and then shuts it just as quickly.
All right.
Okay. Let's see what's inside bag, yeah?
Yeah, let's take it out to the others. And then we
Feels
can-
heavy, feels the same, full of metal squares, rectangles.
Does it look like there's drives poking from like the sides of the bag?
Yeah, you see
Okay.
roughly small rectangular shapes.
Okay.
You head out to the main room.
Yep.
I'm gonna take
At-
the bag.
At
Put
seeing
it on
the
a coffee
bag
table.
full, I visibly relax.
So that
So,
concern rolls off.
So Key, what more do you need? Let's see them.
There's something in there. Let's see what it is.
I'm gonna open the bag, pull one out.
Okay, it's an old school physical hard drive.
There it is.
Very cool.
Do we have anything to insert these into to access
Insert,
them?
you said.
It's funny you ask.
I bet Odin's got a kit.
Oh, I can take a look at code on the hard drives. It's no problem. Let me set up virtual environment to take a look. Established. Let's go ahead and set it so it's sandbox to make sure things are not changing.
Hey,
Because I do not want to get spiked again. Getting
I-
spiked is not very good at all.
Yes, about that. I've been meaning to ask you, how are you doing after that? Are you
I need to
secure?
see. I still need to see Ripper Doc to make sure that I am not continued to be spiked.
Yeah, so because of that, are you sure you want to do this right now? Considering your state? Or
It's
I was gonna
fine.
suggest that we do it on a
If I was going to be massively compromised right now, I would be laying on bed with light sensitivity, massive headache, or maybe just be unconscious.
if it wanted to hurt you, if it just wanted to exist, maybe not. That's how.
Well, then
viruses work.
I would see it on incoming, outgoing data out of my head.
You have a lot of faith in yourself.
Yes, I do.
Considering
Don't you?
you just got hacked yesterday.
You have a lot of faith in yourself too. You doubt many things around
calm
you.
down. Calm down. Hey,
But you have faith
hey,
in yourself. I have faith in myself.
you
Look,
do
I am
whatever,
big
whatever
man.
you want,
I
big
am,
guy. Yes, whatever
yes,
you want, big guy. You do
understood.
what you want.
Understood.
Do what
Thank
you
you.
want. I'm sorry that I've upset you.
No, you are fine. I understand need for caution, but understand that I am good at trade. You are good at your trade. I do not doubt this.
I thought your trade was punching. Anyway, yes, go ahead. Continue.
Also, being somebody that's pretty decent at hacking, I'm just gonna make this. Odin, can we
You need to
we
get
just
to
try and
bed,
do this
sir.
on a closed network?
Yeah, we do it. Sure. I was planning on doing a closed network so that no data escapes, and it's read only, so it does not write onto any personal software.
Alrighty. Why don't I get general computers from both Odin and Edwin? Two
Well,
very
they're,
good rolls.
While they're unbundling the computers and getting everything laid out and starting the process, I'm going to talk through everything we learned from Dr. Long about our shared hallucination to the two that didn't get to hear it.
Go ahead.
I also, yeah.
So we got in. We got to talk to Dr. Long, and nothing weird happened at the lab yesterday. It was a day that was business as usual. They have us on security footage walking into that lab a little bit after 3, and then walking out at about 3:15.
Also,
the external camera shows myself and Edwin going north, Roxy going south. I said that backwards. Odin and Edwin going north, Roxy going south, and me and Levi going to the diner. So there should be footage or someone at the diner yesterday that can confirm we went there.
But apparently the diner
crazy.
uses the camera from the lab for security.
Man, they
so
got a
there's
security
nothing-
system. That's probably why
I
Dr.
asked-
Long was choosing them.
No, I asked, and during my very productive conversation with the waitress, she mentioned that there are no cameras that they use, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll hit them up when they're 3 o'clock or whatever staff was on duty yesterday.
Well,
is,
they're actually not open at 3 either. That was also during my very
They have to be open at 3 p.m. What diner's closed in the middle of the day?
Oh, PM? I thought you were referencing to 3 a.m. when we potentially would have walked past there. Yes, at 3 p.m. they should be open still.
No, we're
Maybe she'll
totally
still be-
unaccounted for in the AM hours. All we know is what we know from that security footage and what Dr. Long told us.
Actually, they said they change shifts every 4 hours. Yeah, I might be able to catch her still. I never did get her place.
What time
Maybe
is it
I'll
now?
Would it be bad for me to text her? Roxy, in your opinion, if I have received a number, how long should I wait before I text it? I know you're an expert in these things. Teach me. Indeed.
Well, under the circumstances, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say it's too soon. I mean, you're trying to get vital information. You're not just saying, "Are you up?"
But
so,
she seems like she would be down for an "Are you up" as well.
I mean, if you feel so inclined, your confidence is there, then why not?
Perhaps I'll wait.
Time is of the essence. Who knows what time it is right now?
I'd like to know what time it is. I'm going to check my pad.
6:30 a.m.
Oh,
Well, I guess
good.
it's been a little, maybe 7 a.m.
Okay, that's actually a logical time.
So, let me get this straight. Just to run this back so I'm in the clear.
Right.
You went to the diner after we split ways.
Indeed.
You saw Dr. Long. He had a story that he corroborated with the security footage.
Everything was normal at Stone Tech. And get this, we go through that same door that we broke into last night. He turns to the left for a security office that wasn't there last night for us.
He also confirmed that the security that we saw was real with the use of turrets that apparently we did not activate, even though it would be like the same situation if we had.
So there's a totally different room, and basically none of what we saw yesterday happened, except we do have these hard drives.
So we were in the building. Yes.
Or we
were in something. We think we were in that building. Exactly.
And
But how?
what about this room? When
Yeah.
was this addition made?
He said it was built 10 years ago. So whatever we experienced was a version of that building greater than 10 years ago.
Also, the security had a symbol, and I'm gonna like just draw the symbol. Can we look into this? What is this company?
What's it called?
I just have the symbol. I
He just
figured
has
asking
the
him.
logo.
Draw it for me?
I figured
probably would.
He can draw it.
asking the doctor the name of the security would have been a bad idea considering the
Oh.
circumstances.
Do I recognize the symbol?
Roll intelligence.
I mean, I make it my business to
You do.
scam these corpos.
Doesn't mean you're aware of every private security group in the whole area. But this one you're aware of. Yes, this is Quantum Security.
I probably know most of the security groups
You
because
probably
that's
do.
who I have to fuck over.
The question is like, do you know all the little
All
small
of
timey
them.
ones that they
That's
paid
true.
on the cheap for, you know? But you've heard of this one. It's a good one. Quantum Security.
Yeah, they don't really fuck around. If we were breaking into a quantum place, we wouldn't have gotten past that door.
Well,
Whatever
we did
broke
though.
into last night, they weren't on it.
You say, why are you so stuck on the idea that we did not go there? We were physically there. I don't understand why you think that we weren't.
Yeah, because so we have our little pod of consciousness, our little group here, right? And we've experienced one reality, yet everyone we've talked to and all evidence points to the contrary. We are, hey, you know that crazy dude I talked to in the diner? That's us right now. Like, we walked outside and it was the next fucking day. There's clearly something going on with our psyche.
Are you saying you do not trust self?
I'm saying none of us are reliable narrators right now for the events going on. We're going to need
Can I
independent
just
fact
interject really
checking.
fast? So there's a
What?
couple things that have been going on. So the first issue we really had was the knocking on the door at my hideout.
Yeah.
As soon as you opened that door, all hell broke loose, and whatever went down in that room, something affected Odin, and it was all downhill from there.
Probably the rest of us. That's true.
Exactly. I think that might be the infection point. Now, realistically, with that room, 10 years old. I mean, to me, we time traveled, but that seems totally preposterous.
You are.
But we have these hard drives to prove we were there. Now, what's
You were
on
saying
the
that.
hard drives and how old they are? I mean, we know hard drives are a rare occurrence these days. There's no need for them anymore with the clouds.
If
So
one more person says time travel, you will
I'm
feel
just
my
saying-
frustration.
I think
This
it's
is not a
very
real thing.
strange.
This is not how life works. We do not just walk up to a building and bloop, we're in 10 years ago. That's not how
Well,
this works.
if you get jacked into a system that simulates your reality, and the reality it's simulating is 10 years ago, well, it might seem a lot like time travel to us.
And how are they going to jack me into a system?
That's the billion-dollar question, man. Because as far as I can see, we came here, talked, went to the lab as a group, and then split up. That's what that camera said. That's the objective world. And I bet if we go back to that diner, they're going to say we walked in there and did something weird and then left. Like, the
Of course
whole
you did.
world experienced one thing, and we experienced something different. At
We
some point, we had to
also-
have gotten
Did
back
they
to
really experience something different, or are they fucking with your head?
I mean, I like to think that I can read people pretty well, but
For
I
someone who
Dr.
is
Long-
so, go ahead, please, Roxy, please speak.
I was just gonna say, I do agree with that fucking with the head notion, because I mean, we do know that Dr. Long is at this diner. Who's to say this couldn't be something between the two places?
I watched
Yeah,
the shift change as usual this morning. Like,
What
we
was the
experienced.
diner 10 years ago?
Oh, that's a good
Wow.
question.
I think we need to research a little bit
Seems
into
old.
history, but also we need to remember what we saw when we were in that lab
Let
as
me-
well. What about that doctor?
Let me
Who is
debunk this whole 10
Only
years
till the back
ago
of the
thing.
head.
Let's
Yeah.
stop acting like, listen, the security program clearly said, the AI said that there was a, spill of CFD? That CFD was all over that wasn't even as big of an issue then. Like, it was more rare then. So why, if we were, I just don't think that this is a valid train of thought.
Sure.
Oh,
Then it's a reality unlike any other. It's not necessarily the past, it's just different.
Alternatively, Corporal Team came in, did great cleanup, and set things right, so you knew so it looked perfectly fine after all fuckery yesterday.
man. For them to have built a whole new fucking room, and for me to see the shifts change and everybody acting like everything's normal, if we hadn't had the personal time jump, maybe I'd believe that. But
They could have hidden
it's
the
all
room.
too insane.
They could have hidden the room. It's not unheard of to make things as though they don't exist. I don't know.
Okay, you know what? Someone show me images of what they showed us doing. I am concerned, but I think they are lying.
All right, here you go, and I'll play back the footage. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Did we
so
ever leave out the front door? No.
I've been recording the past 24 hours with my visor.
Mhm.
Let's take a look.
Alrighty.
And,
You hold the
I'm gonna-
visor footage down to a nearby monitor or a tablet of some kind and throw it up onto Roxy's television.
And I'm gonna just rewind for this day first because I'm expecting yesterday to be corrupted or fucked up somehow.
Right, of course.
And I'm gonna show the group the security footage and my conversations with Dr. Long so they know everything that we talked about when I wasn't with them.
Alrighty. Figure out what's on the visor after these messages from our sponsors. Drink Orange Crush. It's the crushiest. We'll see y'all in 5 or 10.
All right.
Go get crushed.
back. Hello. This is K105 coming at you on the 6s and the 9s. Here to tell you about a recent development. A murder that she wrote came about at a nearby construction site when a young man decided that he was no longer fit to be a construction worker and decided to make his name and his fame as a mass murderer. Luckily, the cops caught him and he is currently in jail. Sources say that his partners are still on the run. We bring ourselves back to the apartment. We pulled out some hard drives, some old physical drives from the days of yore, the days of our past. And with those, we're going to set up an internal network and attempt to check them out in hopes of not being hacked ourselves or leaking any of the data. So, I need general computers. I got both of those, and they were both successes. Good. Ergo, we have retrieved the data. Now, there are a shitload of drives here. You guys grabbed several dozen physical drives, and pouring through this amount of data with any amount of granularity is going to take quite a while. Describe your process to me, Edwin and Odin. Are you looking for something specific? Are you trying to do general scan? Are you doing light scans, deep scans? How long would you be willing to take on the process? What kind of things are you doing?
Probably parsing for any single string that involves CFD.
Okay.
Or it's not an abbreviated version.
Sure.
And I would probably be running trying to get a compiled data of dates as well.
Yeah. Check the timestamps and everything on there.
All of the files are dated 2120 through 2135. The current year is 2185.
The 65-year-old files?
You find no mentions of CFD or its unabbreviated form.
Okay.
With that being an oddity, I guess afterwards I'm going to run filters to try and find I guess nanobot information, like just looking for the keyword nanobots.
Nanites. Okay.
Yeah, nanites.
What about you, Odin?
I'll go ahead and do a mid scan.
Just a surface level, see what's there.
Yeah.
Okay. Odin, your general consensus here is that this is old experimental log data and like results, attempts, generic data, etc., from the lab 65 years ago, 65 to 40, 50, 65 to 50 years ago. It's a lot of experiments. I mean, that's 15 years is a lot of data, and so they're covering a lot of stuff that has basically is now old news. Like there was the discovery of the interneural synapse connection for cyberware or something like that, which is fucking old as shit, to current day technology. It was the breakthrough that allowed for high functioning capacity of brain to cyberware instructions for people to like literally replace arms as opposed to modifying arms.
And this is the same type of experimental data?
Yeah, like the whole everything you're looking at on the surface is that level of data. Like it's old, but a lot of it's recognizable. Stone Tech was involved in a lot of major experimental analysis back in that day. Edwin, you do find several mentions of nanites. It's a lot of very low-level, extremely early phase experimental logs. This is back in the time period where they'd had a lot of success with physical non-brain modifications, and the invention of nanites that were interacting with the brain was new ground at that time. So it's a lot of conjecture saying that we believe that if the nanites can coexist with the brain and its electrical shocks and whatnot along the neurons, then maybe we can affect that. Maybe we can repair the brain. Then like a small mention of like maybe we can change what a brain thinks, you know, etc., etc. You know, good and bad things. Anything else you'd like to look for?
I'll go ahead and look for cryptographical patterns in the data.
You're looking for things that have been purposefully encrypted?
Yeah, well, even casually. Well, purposely encrypted, but also things that if there's any underlying patterns in the data that suggest that, you know, it's been...
Oh, you're looking for like codes and hashes?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Edwin?
I looked to see who was working on that at the time, like who was doing the experiment, like who was making the log entries for just documenting the data for the nanites.
For those nanite entries?
Mm-hmm.
You see several names, none of which are, you know, like recognizable within your own memory as like standout. But there's, I don't know, Randy will make up some names. There's a Dr. Hachiguchi, a Dr. Stevenson, and a Dr. Xavier. You like that one, huh?
It doesn't say if he's bald or not, though.
It doesn't mention his hair status, no. Odin. Roll me a general computers check again.
Okay.
Hard success. Okay. You find a couple of things. Several sections of encrypted directories, and one that just looks kind of bizarre. It's not actually encrypted. It's not hidden, but it's hidden. It's hidden like when you're a 12-year-old trying to hide your porn. There's like, you know, like 38 nested folders with nothing in them, but they're all named something stupid like homework, homework 2, homework 7. Don't look in here. This is still homework. Haha, gotcha. Homework.
Okay. I'm going through the file structure.
Okay. 37 homework memes later, you do find another encrypted document. A single text doc.
Sure, I'd like to go ahead and try to...
Roll me a hacking.
First check it for anything malicious and then go ahead and decrypt it.
It's an ASCII penis.
So when... Oof. It's, you know, it's encrypted in such a way that you are unfamiliar. It's in the same way that it was hidden in meme folders, it's encrypted with memes.
I'd like to roll science cryptography to understand what the
Roll me
algorithm is.
Roll me a hard difficulty science cryptography. Go ahead, Edwin.
Am I aware of what he's doing?
No, because you're both searching at the same time. You're digging on your thing.
Where were all these high rolls 2 days ago?
All right, Edwin.
Well, I'm out of it. I'm out of everything. I found single file that's encrypted. Do you want to give it a shot?
No. I'll see what I can do with it.
All right. Passes it over to you. Roll me you want a hack or you want a crypto?
Hack.
Okay. Roll me a hacking.
Normal?
Yep. Unfortunate. You could try and push. Or you could burn luck.
That's a lot of luck to burn.
If you're having trouble, I could always take a look at it as well.
Yeah, I can't get this. It's too old for me and real weird. I don't. So I'll pass it along.
Okay.
Can I roll?
Hold on just a
Journal.
moment. I'm pulling up meme images.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
This is for all the weebs out there. Edwin, as you attempt to break in, you spot a strange logo in a very like an archaic style of just kind of solid lines. Looks very outdated, but it seems to be laughing at you. Go ahead and roll hacking, Roxy.
Nope. None of us can get to this thing.
And you can always push or burn luck.
No.
Okay. So yeah, you've got this this very strangely encrypted file that none of you seem to be able to access.
Have either of you ever come across something like this before?
Um,
I'll take that as a no.
not quite.
It's
this.
old that. It's old algorithm. I do not. It does not work against anything I cross-check.
Does it look like it belongs where it is, or does it look out of place? I'm assuming it looks out of place, and that's why we're here, but I don't know because I haven't been reading the information you have.
That would be you. That would have to convey that because you didn't convey it to me either.
Yeah, it is hidden in file structure. It's kind of like Kid was going down into there to do something. It's also a very childish thing AI can do sometimes. Oh, look, file that I do not want anyone to see. Look, I put it deep in file structure.
Well, let's hang on to this, knowing it's here, and I suppose if we find someone who is an even better specialist than either of you, we can pass it along to them to see if they can break through it. But
Or we can get some sleep and take a look at it tomorrow.
Him saying that made me think of one more thing to look for, and I look for failed experiments.
Oh, there's shitloads of them.
More specifically, like catastrophically failing experiments.
There's slightly less shitloads. I mean, there's 15 years of a laboratory data.
Okay.
They start and stop experiments constantly.
Catastrophic failures with nanites.
The nanite files were pretty much everything you found. This was early phase research for that many years ago.
And then, so I'm just basically convey to the group. Well, we can't really rule out the time traveler theory now. These are between 65 and 50 years old. There's a few things that are kind of alarming. One of the mentions of nanites is that this is early stuff, so they didn't really know a whole lot, I guess. But they said that they believed that they could change memories with it. So,
And you get enough nanites in your system, and the wrong person gets a hold of them, they can make you believe whoever. They can change your identity. They can make you believe or experience anything that they want.
Wait,
So
so
that's not even strange.
So you're saying that there was a research that could affect your memories?
Oh yeah, they can write false memories. I mean, yeah, like I said, if the wrong person gets a hold of your biometric systems, they can change everything about you.
And we all seem to. Do me a favor. Do I have any of those in my body at the moment?
Probably. Were you born
No.
in a hospital?
Can you check?
I don't know how to check.
How do you check? How does one check this?
Draw blood and test it. Is there a lab nearby? We could pretend that you're trying to get an STD check and get a full blood screen.
Yes, but if I'm going to do that, I at least need to see the waitress first, and then go afterwards to knock out 2 birds in 1 stone.
Can my cat scan him?
Your cat's pretty high level stuff. The level of scanning needed for nanites, I mean, they are nanites, right? You know, they sit in the bloodstream. So it's probably much higher than the cat's capable of.
Got it.
While everybody was going through the hacking, I was going to review my footage.
Okay.
And see where it starts and stops.
You follow yourself to the diner yesterday. You have your meeting. You head over to Roxy's place. And you have no record of the Georgia encounter. Now everything else happened. You guys freaked out. You checked the door, but on your recording there is no knocking. There is no Roxy.
I'll take these mental notes.
You head out. You make your way back to the lab. You arrive inside, and as you walk through the door, the video goes to static. This is not terribly uncommon. You've experienced this particular thing plenty. Lots of places are very secure and would mess with, you call it jamming, if you want to. Any sort of recording or theft of their data, what they would consider their property. So it doesn't surprise you at all that you've got nothing, but you scan through it. But you can scan through it. You'll scan through static for quite a while, maybe 20 minutes of static, then it picks back up. You walk outside. You head over to the diner where the crowd or the queue is dispersed because it's after Dr. Long would have left. And a drifter tries panhandling for a few creds so he can get a meal. And as the two of you, because you can see, maybe you can hear Levi at the edge of your recording. You're having he's humming or something. You can hear his voice, but it's not super clear, distinct. The two of you walk up to the diner. The drifter seems to get in some sort of altercation with a random passerby who, he made a gesture towards the drifter, like maybe he was giving him something, and the drifter looks down, like you're across the street while you're not watching this. The drifter, gesture, looks down, looks up in anger, and then shouting, "I'll rip your face off!" They get in a fist fight. You see yourself look at Levi. He looks at you. Levi says, "I'll take care of this." You yawn. Decide you've had enough for today. Call the car to go home. From then on, it's you go home, you sleep. Hours pass.
When do I meet back up with the group?
5:30 a.m. outside of the diner.
But is it just Edwin and Levi?
No, everyone gets to the street. He gets out of the car, sees everyone gathered, and he walks out. He walks up, says hello, and then it looks like a conversation had already occurred. And Odin and Roxy nod hello and then leave.
Yes,
south.
today's event. Yeah. And if I keep watching, it's Dr. Long and then everything
Yeah,
else.
keep
in the day,
watching.
and
It's the
yeah.
memory as you have it.
All right. Well, I'll look to the group. Y'all find anything interesting in the hacking there?
I need to check my blood as soon as possible.
Oh, well, I've got some important clues for you.
I definitely ask him, be like, I already went over what we found hacking. Were you just not listening to us, or?
Oh no, I was replaying all the footage I've recorded in the last 28 hours.
Do share.
All right. And I'll show all of us. I'll go to the monitor. Show all of us hanging out at Roxy's place. Notice no disembodied Roxy. Silly little voice thing going on, but the rest of it happened as we remember. Here we go. We head over to the lab. Cuts out when we go into the lab. Look at the timestamp when the static ends. 30 minutes later, just like on their security footage. We walk over to the diner. Evidently there's a fight between a homeless guy and somebody else. I don't know where the rest of you guys went. This was just me and Levi doing this. And, he breaks that up and I go home and go to sleep, which I guess explains why I'm not super tired right now.
Can you check to see if when Roxy left, if she was carrying anything, or even Odin?
Yeah, good call. I'm gonna rewind it. I'm gonna see if I watched them get in a car or leave somewhere.
It looks like when in your footage, your best guess is they left before you because they don't appear. That like maybe you left the building, you and Levi left the building last, so they were were gone when you're recording, or first. Yeah, either way, they don't appear in your recording post lab.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have anything for that.
Okay, what about in the morning?
Well, this morning evidently started with us all walking to the diner, just like we would have if we had left the lab, but I didn't come from the lab. In fact, if I check my courier bill log, I came from the apartment I'm staying at right now.
When did you see him this morning?
Let's see, what this morning?
Roxy and Odin?
You did.
Yeah,
Everyone was
check
outside the lab.
Were they holding anything then?
It's just not how we remember it.
Edwin said, were they holding anything then? You think back, they weren't.
No, I mean, it was just us literally this morning after. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, if they would have had hard drives, you'd think they would have had them this morning before they came here. But no, I don't see anything.
So that to me at least tells us that that's 100% falsified. There's no way that.
We have hard drives. We have
right, exactly.
evidence.
We do. It's true. I mean, it kind of leans in towards maybe the AI did something to my visor when we were in there. But then again, at the same time,
have you ever had anyone hack your visor before? Is that a thing you've ever known to happen?
It's just a camera. It's just a camera attached to my ped. Like, there's not really anything to hack with it. At least, not that I'm aware of. It seems, I'm not super technical, but it seems like a closed circuit to me.
I mean, I'm a little bit confused on the account of I don't know who can doctor this to make it seem like we were in different places. I mean, who has access to us other than us at any given time?
Surely you have cameras in your home, Keith.
Wait, question. And I know this is us, truly speculation, completely ridiculous, but have we ever met before?
I'm pretty sure I'd remember meeting someone like you, being a, famous local celebrity and such. I don't think I met you as me before.
Do you, are you talking about just Key, or are you talking about all of us?
I mean, all of us are somehow in this footage between what you described from the security that we saw, and then on this visor, the only explanation is either somebody somehow doctored it, which seems a little difficult knowing that we all just met one another, or
Well,
we
somebody
somehow
doctored.
know each other prior to these events.
I definitely don't know all of you. Unfortunately, trying to figure out if I've met you before might be blending into some of the simulations of you that I've seen before, or some of your shows. But I don't recall meeting you personally, and
Yes,
I've definitely never met anybody else.
I don't believe that I've met any of you prior to our initial meeting as well.
The catch is if something was doctored, it was the security camera footage at Stone Tech, my visor footage, and yeah. So the question is, what do we believe? Our brains, or the security footage and Dr. Long? And maybe the diner.
No, there was a thing a long time ago, before my time, called deepfakes, and they could pretty much place your face on any person that they wanted to. That could be how they did it, and that would explain why, even though you see yourself, talking to Levi and this bum fight happening, I suppose that could be how it's happening, because none of these events took place, to our knowledge.
Yes, completely correct. And if I could just insert really quickly, I
Sure.
would never walk up to a fight and say that I will handle this.
I-
That just seems uncharacteristic of me.
I agree.
Do you recognize the guy in the fight?
Play it again.
Let me zoom in on this guy's face. Do you recognize him?
You do. An old friend of yours.
The one that went missing?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why you broke up that fight.
Wait a second, you know the person?
Yes. Although his name escapes me, as always. Colin?
Cologne?
It's the morning that I was yesterday morning when I was checking everything with my shop. I was leaving, and one of my people that lived near me asked me if I'd seen him because he went missing. Obviously I hadn't, so I told her such, but it seems that he's here in this video.
That is very strange. Who else knows about this aside from the person that was asking you about him?
Well, I would assume everybody, and she didn't seem too against asking the question. She may have asked everybody in our community if he's missing.
What's the significance of him? Levi?
Honestly, I'm not sure I associated with him. I know him. It's just I don't know why anybody would want to take him. I mean, we're all pretty poor in my area. We don't really have a lot going on in my community. We keep to ourselves. We try to make ends meet for us, but it's not like there's anything to gain from taking someone or for him disappearing.
Well, evidently he's around.
I'm not clearly.
What's
At first, I thought it was a kidnapping, but
you,
it seems that he's just not wanting to go back to the community. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I really truly meant what his significance to you was.
Just an associate. Someone that would be around my shop. I talked to every now and then. He would cross me. We would chat about the local this and that,
And you cannot recall his name?
I believe it was Colin. It's something similar.
But
you
you
know.
have to understand, I'm a little perplexed by the fact that you can't seem to remember his name. You know his face. You
honestly,
have
I remember faces more than names because faces are ingrained in my memory. Names come and go. People can change their name. They can't. Well, they
People can
can.
change their face.
Typically, they don't change their face so often.
Well, y'all are going to see a new face from me in about 2 days when I need to find another corpo to crash out.
Was this friend of yours, Colin, or whatever his name was he human like you?
I mean, we're all. What type of question is this?
Like,
What do you mean human?
pure, non-modded?
I imagine not. There's not many that aren't. In some capacity, I would doubt it.
Mm.
I'm doubting myself at this point, even considering what we've just learned about
I
the video.
highly doubt all of us.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I don't understand how any of these things are going to be happening to you as well.
You're asking a lot of questions that I don't really feel I have enough information about. Perhaps if I went back and spoke with the woman who asked me, I could recall more, but at the moment, blame it on the exhaustion. I haven't slept, and I just don't have the answers that you see.
Well, I have guest rooms for everyone to sleep in. One of them might have to share a bed with another, but
I'm
certainly
surprised I'm not tired. Now that I saw the camera footage, I'm pretty sure that's how things went.
Well, I can assure you that Odin and I came straight here, and Odin rested while I recounted the last few hours of strangeness here on the couch. I did have a boy come to my door to deliver the newspaper, which, now that I'm thinking about it, I forgot to pick it up. Let me go grab that really fast. And then I'm going to go grab the newspaper from the door.
Okay. You retrieve a newspaper.
I was about to say, if I hear another knock on that freaking door.
I close the door, lock the door behind me, and I bring the newspaper back to the couch, and I sit down and, take it out of, I'm assuming it's in a bag, but I don't know what it's like at this point. And I open it up. What do I see?
I wasn't prepared to read the news. Hold on just a moment, please.
Ha!
Honestly, guys, at this point, I trust the cameras and I don't trust us. There's something messing with our heads.
Yes, but you have to understand that we have physical evidence, Key.
Maybe we were given this evidence.
Someone knows a lot more than they're leading on. Levi, whoever's messing with us knows about that friend of yours. That's very strange. Why would they know about that person? Why is that person here?
Oh man, that's not fake. Actually, I was talking to a rambling old man in the diner, and he said that a homeless guy got in a fight and said, "I'll rip his face off." The old guy specifically said that to me. I checked the footage. Homeless guy yelling, "I'll rip your face off." It matches.
Did the old man you speak of say that happened recently?
Yesterday afternoon.
So that adds up.
Yeah, it does. I'm doubting us at this point.
Key, did he say that anybody from the diner left to go deal with it?
He was pretty close to senile, but he described those events very specifically. Everything else he said was garbage.
So, all right, I'll give my little take on what's going on. At least until we get Levi tested here, I think we should work off the assumption that we're not the ones that have been altered, or the alteration that we have is a time gap.
I think we just trust nothing, and I think we just have to move on. I think sitting here and talking about things that we don't know isn't useful. I think that it's both the video being deceptive, and I think it's us also not being trustworthy either. And until we have more information, what can we do besides be cautious?
Maybe we get CFD.
But my whole thing is, if we're not all on the same page, one of us thinks that we went back in time.
Nobody thinks we went back in time.
As Roxy retrieves the paper and this conversation goes on, she opens it up absentmindedly, forgetting that in the future newspapers talk to you. They don't just read. She opens it up and you all kind of get interrupted by Bay of Plenty News. We're coming at you with the Bay of Plenty News, the big headlines for the big times. This is the Bay OP News.
Roxy, can you turn your paper down? Come on.
I adjusted, but you can still hear it.
The Bay OP News is coming at you on the 9s and the 5s, the 6s and the 2s. We're coming out to you. This is the biggest headlines, the biggest news in the Bay. Yesterday, late at night, 2 a.m.
Can you switch the accent on it? I'm tired of this radio accent. It's one of those newspapers, right?
No, I don't pay for the premium options to change.
Sorry.
Roxy, what do you
Go
mean?
ahead, play. I apologize.
Anyway, I pressed play again.
You really must upgrade that.
The Bay
out
of
of all
Plenty
things.
News. Yesterday, 2 a.m., dead of night, construction site, murder on the Bright. A mass murder, a serial killer, who knows? 3 men, 1 captured, 2 on the run. Descriptions say 1 man, large, burly, 1 smaller, bearded. Bay of Plenty News, a dog show in the downtown Bay. Who will win? Will it be the Hollow Yorkie? Will it be the Cyber Corgi? Bay of Plenty News. What?
I said my bet's on the corgi.
Bay of Plenty News.
What are the odds? I've been following the corgi for rounds. It's got to be favored 3-1.
I completely agree. I mean, it has the best chance.
I might go ahead and throw money on the other, just in case.
Come now to the downtown, to your down low. You can see Roxy Foxy at the club every night, all night.
Wow, I didn't expect to see my ad in the newspaper. I forgot about that.
That was an explicit projection, too. Holy cow. Family read that, Roxy. How'd you pick that?
Well, I have it so, if the subscriber is 18 or older, they can access it. And,
That's
the
fair.
newspapers have a little bit of tech. They can identify the
Oh,
young.
yeah. There's the back page. I got you.
Okay. Anyway, where's the construction site compared to where we were?
Construction site is in the what you as a local, for the 3 of you who are locals, might consider like the new tech area of the Bay. It's just like where new high tech megacorp buildings are being constructed.
Okay, so
it's a good ways off.
Okay.
You know, the description of the 2 people who committed that murder, is that north of Stone Tech by chance?
Well, if you remember, there was a engineer that went rogue and decided to make his fame, and they caught him. So it's probably his associates, I would assume.
And yes,
Wait,
it is to the north.
Are you?
It was mentioned. I forget where it was mentioned, but I heard engineer, fame, captured, 2 friends on the run.
Big man, one with a beard. Are you saying that Odin and Edwin committed a murder?
They walked north after we left the lab. You saw the footage on my visor. That murder scene? Well, that's north. None of us know where we were yesterday.
So you implicit me in murder because you are not sure of yourself. This is
No.
bullshit.
Listen, you may be implicated in this murder. We don't. I firmly believe that none of us know what we were doing yesterday. That something happened to us. That we weren't in control of our bodies or our minds. So, if whoever was puppeting us or messing with us sent y'all up there to kill some people, that's something we'd want to stay on top of.
No, wait. Stop. We took a cab. Odin and I took a cab. I paid for that with my chip. So I should have a record of that on my bank account. Let me just check really fast.
Would it say how many? It would. Yeah, I guess it might say how many passengers there were. If there's a
Says you booked
surcharge.
a cab.
Passengers, but at least it would tell us.
You
if,
do have record of you booking a cab at around that time.
Well, at least I know I was in a cab.
And I was there with you.
The security footage said you went south in a car on your own.
Can I check the security at my own place really fast?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You find
okay.
yourself arriving at home about 4:30 p.m. yesterday, alone. You went to bed.
Same as my visor.
I'm still tired. Yeah. Well, it appears that I came here by myself and then went to bed. And on the security footage, does it show me Georgia leaving any time before that?
Nope.
Like, I don't think I checked the security.
You didn't, and Georgia was never here.
It doesn't show her coming or going, you mean?
Correct. It does show your friend the bouncer showing up, opening the door, dropping off a bag, which is the bag of her clothing that you found. But it does not show Georgia.
Okay.
Were you carrying a bag?
Was I carrying a bag? No, not at
Did
all.
you have the hard drives when you got back?
At 4:30 p.m., yes, you do have a bag.
I appear to have a bag, yes.
You showed up, put it in your safe, go to bed.
Huh.
So somehow we got these drives in that 30 minutes that we were at Stone Tech.
And you didn't see me with a bag.
That we left at 5:30, according to every timestamp on the eternal databases. Yes.
But I arrived here at 4:30
p.m.
According
not
to your
a.m.
own
p.m.
according to your own security, which doesn't make sense
Right.
and does not match up with timestamp on vehicle you just hired.
It does. The timelines here are all lining up with themselves and not your memories. You all showed up to the lab at 3. You entered, lost track of everything because you can't track in the lab, left at approximately 3:30, 3:45, and went your separate ways in the directions I indicated. Roxy's next pickup, has record of a 4 o'clock, car ride, and an arrival at her home at 4:30.
So, fast forward. What time does Odin show up at my door?
You leave at about 3:30 a.m. and show back up with Odin at 5:30, 5:45 or whatever.
Which would align more with what we thought we did.
Which brings your memory back into the timeline, yes.
Yeah.
Because we reassembled, like we literally left where we were, came back, and then left from there again.
All right, guys.
You know what? This is all problematic. Let's go ahead and... did anyone talk to fixers? I did not go to coordinates yet.
No, I suppose that's what we do next, but...
All right, let's go to coordinates, look around, and then go to fixers.
So let's not rush over to the fixers, or if we do, maybe Edwin and Odin, y'all don't go.
I think for the sanctity of any data in the future, we should stick together so we all can corroborate our actual stories.
So if Edwin and Odin are wanted, and there's anything, maybe their description and faces aren't on the news yet, and there's anything going around about them, these fixers are going to know, and they're going to know exactly who they are.
I go ahead and put on my what you guys originally saw me in.
Your full face gear.
Yep.
Yeah, so occlude your faces somehow if you can. If not for our sake.
Odin pulls out his holocap, which casts light, occluding visual or facial recognition software.
Oh, cool.
As James retrieves his slightly neon hat. Yes, the holocap. Perfect. Holocap, very common technology for your everyday runner who doesn't want to get noticed by cameras. They'll see you, they'll know you're there, but they can't seem to pick up your face.
Who is that person?
I mean, of course, with your regular eyes, you can definitely see him. No issues. It's all fine. It's just kind of occludes camera, like infrared-based visions and stuff like that.
All right.
All right. Well, I suppose we're off to the fixers now. Given the nature of our situation, despite my previous comments, I think it might be okay if we skip all the goody two-shoes and go right to scrap metal.
What?
I know, it's very unlike me, but hear me out. What I do know of scrap metal is he deals with a lot of very strange things. This might be the strangest thing he's ever heard of, or he might have heard of it before because he's done a little something here and there for somebody that does something like this. We need somebody who knows about time, and, well, I mean, I understand Auntie and Lorenzo might know a thing or two about other things. I think scrap metal's our guy for weird occurrences.
Or for getting shot.
I've heard a lot about scrap metal. None of them good.
Yeah. I might need a new disguise before we go visit him. I'm gonna check my my pad and see how far away my safe house is from here.
You make it your business to find a good quality location in a bad area so that you can not be easily looked for. So it's pretty far. You probably got a nice apartment in like the southeastern portion of town.
Right, that's just my weekend place.
Right.
That's where the corpo is for this week.
Yes.
Next week is somewhere in that district too. But yeah, the one with my disguise kit and everything in it.
Oh, your real place.
Right, my safe house.
Oh, central western Bay area. Maybe 10 minutes walk from the dock, 2 minutes by car. Technically part of the underground, but it's one of those like split level buildings that's, partially above, partially below. The foundation is underground, so they call it an underground home. But you've got windows that actually see the outside. It's Roxy's place is kind of in the eastern district. You probably half an hour by car, just because of the traffic.
Okay, I'm comfortable in this disguise going to see Auntie AI or Lorenzo, but I'd need to change again for scrap metal.
I mean, I have a restroom.
Do you have a good bit of makeup supplies? And wait, you've got some good costumes, right?
Sure, you can have whatever you see in the closets.
Okay, cool.
Disguise yourself.
I've got putty on me. Let me see what I can do. And I'm going to go into check out her makeup and see if I can mold my face so that it's still using the same base and I don't have to redo all these prosthetics.
You're making an elderly figure, but you're going to change up the look.
Right. I'm going to change his nose and the patterns and contours on his face, indentions, things like that. Change the lips, maybe with a little bit.
I'm gonna find a hat and wear it.
Alrighty, good disguise. Gonna put on those glasses with the big fake nose,
Just
normal success. You're not happy with it. You wish you had some of your own materials, but it'll do.
All right, and then I'm gonna change his outfit as well.
Feather boa.
I'll go with. I'm gonna look through her stuff, and it's all pretty flashy and crazy, but I'll just pick something dark.
Okay.
I'll just go for plain black clothes.
You got
you might not.
The best dark you've got is dark covered in flashy sequins, dark, but there's still black sequins, but it's not exactly matte tones.
This guy's so old. Okay, I'll leave his business costume on.
Okay.
And I'll just take the ID card off and put it in my pocket.
All right. You got a slightly different face and largely the same outfit.
Unless there's any clothes here that I could possibly switch out.
Oh, you could, but you're gonna look like an elderly gay man.
Right.
That's just the way it is. That's what her clothing style is flashy.
That might be the fashion nowadays, though.
Ah, fuck. Yeah, I guess I've
It
seen
might
enough
also
of
draw
that.
more attention to you, though.
I was kind of afraid of that, Levi. Thanks for coming and helping me get changed, by the way.
I was just curious of your methods. I mean, like, I know that you said that we had similar, habits, and I wear a hat. You craft this whole scene, so.
Yeah. Normally I just take over people's lives for a little while and get what I need from them, but
You what? Keith?
normally I do very elaborate disguises. Okay. Yeah, fuck, I guess we're going into a seedy area to see the fixers anyway. It might not be that weird to see an old dude dressed up in sequins. I'll do it. So put on some fucking leather pants and that sequin black shirt.
Okay.
Are we planning to go to those coordinates first? I want to make sure I'm on board with what we're doing.
I was just gonna go visit the fixers. I don't know about the coordinates.
The
They seem awfully
coordinates
spooky.
from message we experienced yesterday that is currently pinging in lower right of my VA.
It's possible that they could disappear on us, so
I bet whoever's fucking with us is gonna tell us something of these coordinates, or fuck us some more. So yeah, I guess let's do the coordinates first, get what we can from it, and maybe take that to the fixers, see if anything else ties up. And y'all keep your disguises on, please.
Sounds good.
All right.
I will wear my hat, yes.
So the plan is
Right,
to
yeah. Just the two that
grab a
might be
ride and head for those GPS cords that you got.
In fact, Levi, how about you come snuggle up close to me? We can be a couple. Just hook arms, dude.
So in my mind, I am thinking this is a great plan. Outwardly, I'm thinking I can't ever tell them that this was actually a good suggestion.
Can't admit that Key had a good idea. All right.
I suppose.
There we go. Anybody that spotted us together today definitely didn't see it like this, and definitely didn't see this guy like this. And the face is a little different. It changes enough.
So what are your names?
You can call me whatever you want. I'll respond to it.
I'll be Evil.
You what?
Evil. I'll spell it for you.
Okay. And Key, you're gonna be Gary. Gary's a great name for an old game.
Thank you.
Gary and Evil.
Yeah.
Gary and Abel. All right, let's do it.
Okay.
And everybody else, I assume, just call a random name if we have to refer to each other by names, which I don't know if we have to.
Alrighty.
No, I will be going by. Sorry. No, I'll be going by Randy.
Good name. I've heard that one's very popular among the ladies.
That's two names to remember. I can probably do this, but if I call you something random, real sorry.
Well, I unfortunately cannot. Well, that's not true.
I would suggest that you don't change your appearance or who you are.
I'm
Who you
going
are
to
might
be
able to help us.
honest with you, Roxy. I don't think you could change yourself enough. I think among the advertisements, I've seen you in so many different ways that at this point, I don't think it's even a disguise. I think it's a costume for you.
Well,
Unless you did some facial
so.
modification, I recognize you no matter what.
I haven't taken those off in a while.
I'm glad you're feeling free enough to show us your true self finally. Yes.
I mean, I look exactly the same. I'm just less headgear. I don't know how much different that is. But if you say so, I can go a little bit plain clothes if I need to. But
Levi has hat-based vision.
You throw on a hat and nobody knows who you are.
That's why Odin is invisible.
yeah.
All right, you guys pile into a car. Make your way across town over to the northern district, the New Tech district.
Oh shit! Is this taking us to a construction site? I'm gonna check
Odin,
with
that
the
question's for you.
Is it taking us to what district?
New Tech. Is this taking us to a construction site? What are the coordinates you have? Let me put this in my
Oh,
map
this
real
is
quick.
for a building that has been demolished in last 6 months.
Is it north of
Yeah.
I
let's
think
look.
safely
let's-
assume that is
Hey,
exactly.
let's get Nano Driver. Hang on. Oh fuck, you called it. Can you set it to drop us off? Oh shit, I don't know. Maybe a half mile south of where we're actually put in.
Oh, that is very far away, quarter mile.
Sure.
Okay, pause. So let's talk about this.
All
Can we
directions
just
are done by app. You may change your destination at any time.
Yeah, Odin, have it drop us off a little earlier.
let's maybe talk about this first. Can we just pull on side really quickly, guys?
You've got like a 20-minute drive if you want. I mean,
Oh,
you could
okay.
chat.
So this is fine. So what do we know? We know that when we had the experience yesterday with the knocking and the voice, that Odin was
compromised.
And when
Yeah.
Odin was compromised, immediately what did he receive?
The site in which a
coordinates.
murder would happen.
Now, with that being said, we now are going to a very well-known murder site
No, we're getting out early. We're not going to where we typed in.
where we believe Odin was last night. I believe that whatever compromised Odin has compromised all of us, and we are probably playing it to its hands, and it was suggesting that we go there earlier than we did so that we could do what has already happened. And now we are just retracing our steps and probably likely to get in trouble because of it. Now, I'm not saying I'm the most logical person.
No, it makes sense.
I'm saying,
Levi,
why are
maybe
we
me and
doing
you
this?
check it out.
I'm all right with that. But no, I agree with you. It's just I don't understand how you would be compromised, Levi. That's the reason why I think that we
That's
should get you
why I
tested.
want to check my blood,
Yeah.
because it does not make sense otherwise. My memories shouldn't be able to be tampered with. However, if I somehow took anything, it's very difficult to stay here nowadays. I wouldn't be shocked, but I just
we
need to
all
know.
the following information. Okay, you all had drinks at my place when we went to the hideout.
I did.
also-
It did sealed, but I did.
Also, we all had drinks at the diner.
I did not drink that coffee.
You did not have a drink.
So then it was probably not memory modification from there.
Honestly, y'all were all amateurs on that one too. Going to meet up with Dr. Long, expensive new client. What if they put tracking shit in there? I'm sure they
I
won't.
mean, I knew Dr. Long before this. That doesn't mean anything to me because I already knew
Dr.
he
Long's
was.
working for Corpos though, and you can't trust any. I mean, maybe you can trust the Cabbage Corp, but you can't trust any of them really.
Look. If Fixer is going to screw runners, Fixer is going to die. Fixer does not screw runners
Man,
without
maybe-
having Death Wish.
Maybe he doesn't know that happened. Like maybe this is all hypothetical and it didn't happen, or else it would have been the coffee and I would be fine. But I'm just saying, just a tip for the future. If somebody offers you a drink at a new place, especially for something seemingly innocent, just don't take it.
That is very paranoid and likely to piss off potential clients.
Or make sure they drink first, swap the drinks, what have you.
Okay, you put whatever you put in rare powder into drinks, you mix them around, you put it in both drinks, and you have immunity to powder. Yeah, it's whatever you want to do.
I'm just trying to help y'all avoid tracking nanites. That's all I'm saying. It takes a long time to ship those out. But let's focus on the job. I'm sorry. That was stupid.
You start to pull up. Maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes walk up the road or down the road, I guess, since you're coming from the south, from your destination.
We have arrived. Thank you. Please exit the vehicle.
Step out of the vehicle.
The car pulls off.
What do we see around us here?
You're in the new tech district. A lot of very tall, very high-tech buildings. Even though it's Saturday, there's still tons of people in business wear, corpos everywhere.
I spot a coffee shop.
Plenty.
All right.
Every corner.
You three want to chill at a coffee shop? Me and Levi run up, scope things out. make sure there's nothing crazy. Then we'll come back.
Yeah.
Hurry up.
I'll go as fast as I can. In fact, we can even jog holding hands.
All right. The best gay duo jog over to the GPS cords. You see, before you get there, two Bay of Plenty city police cars, lights on, parked outside.
All right, we're just jogging, and we saw the commotion, and we're checking it out.
Okay.
Just a couple of looky-loos.
Entire
Right, Matt?
site is wrapped in police tape, but it is impossible to obscure. It is quite the site. There are quite a few looky-loos in the area. There's a car that seems to have been lit on fire, and a woman who seems to have been tied to it.
There's still a corpse there?
There is. There's a lot of like crime scene investigators going over the car and the site still.
What of the woman can we make out? I'm assuming the burns are bad, but
Oh, she's completely burnt.
yeah.
You can see that most of her clothing is gone.
For her, but also for us, you know. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, her most of her clothing's gone. She doesn't seem to have any extra other possessions. There is some, like, if you could get closer, you know, I could give you more details, but from here in the crowd, you see a woman burnt to death on top of a car that was set afire. You both can roll me spot hidden.
I promise you, it will not reveal anything. I will try.
Hey, look at the both of you.
I'm the
one of
best.
you with a fucking hard success on a
I don't know
25
how.
check.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Unambiguously gay duo.
That's right. Key, you spot a drab feather boa cast aside in the dirt. Levi, the dirt around the car looks purposefully out of place, different. Something's wrong. Maybe not wrong. Something's different about the area directly surrounding the car. You're a little too far to know why.
Do I see anywhere that doesn't have police tape?
No, the whole construction site's taped up.
There's no like area that they missed.
How?
Not really. I mean, why
How-
would they miss it? Like, I know it'd be
how hard
convenient
would
for
it-
you, but why would they do that?
How hard would it be to like get in? Like,
Oh, I mean, you could probably try and sneak in. You know, sneak up an alley, climb over some construction shit.
yeah,
climb
you already know.
down.
Let's do that. Let's do that. We're gonna try to get closer. I'm gonna try to get closer. I don't know what Key's doing. I'm gonna risk it.
I can be sneaky, but this outfit isn't very sneaky.
Yeah. I'll go alone. I'll go on my own. I'll meet back up.
Hey! I got an idea, man. You try and Metal Gear Solid it, sneak on in there, get behind them. I want you behind the cops. I'll create a quick little distraction for you.
Noted. Okay. I'll give you. You just give me the signal, whatever that may be.
You'll know. You'll hear it.
All right. Noted. Okay. Let's do it.
I'll give you 10 minutes to get in position.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna go wait in the crowd until then.
All right. Let's do some stealthy breaking and entering. Change up our music a little. Why not? Yeah, this one. That's very stealthy breaking and entering. Ooh, I like it. Levi, give me a climb, give me a jump, and give me a stealth.
Already over.
Success. And a success. All right, not bad. All right, 10 minutes pass. You're hanging out in the crowd. You assume he's in position. What are you doing, Key?
Oh my God! Is that Brenda? Oh my God! It's Brenda! And I'm gonna climb over the
police
tape and just go running for it.
Basically, just make a scene, breaking the police line, and okay.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Brenda. just bawling and wailing,
right.
running up to it.
Give me an acting check.
Oh no, fuck. Fail. Do I have to roll it?
You can still roll a 1 through 4.
Oh Christ.
Aha.
Oh, you failed. So
Means
yeah,
it's right.
it's a little over the
You
top.
could spend 30 luck.
You could spend 30 luck.
I don't have 30
Or
luck.
push. You could push.
Jeez, push on a 5? No.
I would tilt so hard. I would literally.
Yeah,
I just
I
log
would.
off. I just log
I
off.
wouldn't push.
I would just log off. GG.
All right. So yeah, it's over the top. They're like, at first they're like, no, sir, what are you doing? Get out of here. They just like run over, bodily pick you up by the arms, and escort you back outside of the tape.
Oh, please, I need to talk to Brenda. Her soul reaches out to me.
Uh-huh. Get along there, little doggy. They just toss you, not
her
so
body.
kindly, outside of the tape.
Take care of her body.
We'll
Please.
do that there, sir.
In her spirit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Then I start making signs.
Okay. You're Brenda.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Levi. You managed to climb to scale some of the construction material. Unfortunately, jumping down doesn't go so well for you. I will give you the option of making noise or taking damage.
How far is the drop? Do I know? Like, can I know that, or do I just have to?
It's like you had to climb up like a crane that's not currently in use, but you had to climb the entire crane, so it's a big machine. Now, I don't mean the arm or anything like that. I just mean the body of the machine. But so you're 15, 20 feet in the air. You're going to tumble down this machine into construction materials on the ground.
What am I wearing?
Whatever you were wearing plus a hat.
Oh yeah, we just make noise. We make noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You volunteer. You know you're gonna fall, so you choose to tumble into the what looks like loose piping and sandbags. It's gonna be noisy, but at least you're not gonna break a leg. All right. It's loud. Heavy metal clanging sounds come from the far side of the construction site. It's pretty certain one of the cops probably hears you. What are you doing?
How far am I from the car?
Depends on whether you want to pass through the construction zone or around it, like around the wall, the exterior.
Through is faster though.
Through is much faster, but you'll have to.
But there's more people.
Right, there's more risk of like construction workers or other personnel being inside.
But I am a construction worker, so we're gonna go through.
Okay. All right. You stealth your way into the site. You find, given your past, you've probably spent a good number of nights inside of partially constructed buildings. This is something. There are a lot more windbreaks in here. You wish you had found this in some of your colder days. This building is gonna look neat and suck big ass, but it's gonna look cool. It's gonna look cool as shit.
Okay.
You move through here and you find you have a shockingly easy time avoiding people just because there are so many alcoves, so many hallways that don't go anywhere. The architect for this was a fucking weirdo, but it's gonna look cool. There's that. You make your way through the site, find your way on the other side.
What do I see? Like, so the car,
like you're peeking out what will be a window, but it's currently a hole in the wall, and you do see the burnt out car and the corpse on maybe 35 feet from you across open ground.
How close do I need to be to tell what's going on with the ground?
Pretty close. 10 feet or less.
Where do I see any police?
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
Nearby?
I mean, not everywhere. They're at the perimeter. On the other side of the car, roaming the grounds, taking notes. The CSI people are your real trouble because they're crawling all over the site.
Right. Okay. I'm just gonna walk up to one of the officers that look. What am I? Hold up. What am I? I need to remember what am I wearing. I'm wearing a hat. I'm wearing the coat, like a black coat.
Yeah, you're wearing your normal gear. So you're in like thick leather and a hat, a thick leather trench coat and a hat.
Could I pat just curious? Do I don't look homeless though. I look like
you do
I
not
could
look
pat-
like a drifter. You also do not look wealthy. You look like you're probably poor.
Right. Okay. I'll walk up to one of the officers.
Officer or CSI?
What is the criminal site investigation?
Yeah,
investigator.
Yeah, crime scene investigator.
Crime scene investigator. Oh. See, CSI. I'll walk up to a CSI.
Okay. Do you want one that looks like they're in charge, or one that looks like they're doing investigation?
One that looks like they're doing investigation.
Okay. This younger lady is on one knee examining the very dirt that you're trying to get a good look at.
Perfect.
She looks up. Oh, hi. Can I help you?
Yeah. I was actually sent over here from the other jurisdiction. I know that normally people in training aren't allowed to come to crime scenes like this, but because of the special circumstance and the use of everybody on, like, all hands on deck here, they thought it would be a valuable learning experience just for me to come and check it out. I know it's strange, but yeah.
She looks extremely skeptical. Why don't you try and lie to her? You can persuade or fast talk.
How?
Oof.
I'm gonna
push. It's one of your better rolls. Pushing's you.
I know. That's why I'm really
here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna push it.
Okay.
Yeah, because yeah.
Expand the roll. Click push. There you go. Much better. At first, she seems like she's not buying it. She's like, other jurisdiction. Oh, you're from the field lab.
Yeah, for sure.
You know
Tony? Maybe you don't, but he's newer
Antonio.
too. But yeah,
Dr. Antonio.
Yeah, but he goes by Tony for us. Yeah,
Does
he's
he?
really
Oh,
he's a
that's
really
nice.
cool. Yeah,
You guys are much more
he's actually
friendly
starting
at
to.
your
He's
lab
trying to
than
get
we
more.
are.
Yeah, he's trying to get more comfortable around the team. Said that our dropout rates were a little too high, so he's trying to make it a more welcoming
I mean,
environment.
it's a tough job. A lot of gruesome scenes.
Yeah, but what's your name? Sorry, getting distracted. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
Sorry, Lee. What can I do for you?
Basically, they said that something was wrong with the dirt here, and that I should just ask. You're
looking for soil samples, or you mean these? And she points down at what she's been drawing. You can see she's got like a digital art kind of program on a tablet, and she's trying to hand copy what appear to be symbols in the dirt.
Do I recognize them?
Roll zoology.
I had that for some reason. Some of it.
Critical failure is what that is right there.
Indeed.
You do recognize them.
Mm-hmm.
They are ancient Sumerian symbols of animal worship.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They believe that that the power of the beast can be conferred to the human through ritual sacrifice.
I think I've seen these once before during the studies. I believe that they're like these markings that actually come from an older belief of, like sacrifices in order to gain the favor of like these animal deities or something along those lines. It's very interesting. I haven't seen these in quite some time.
Oh, wow. Makes me wish I went to school.
Yes. It's one of us. It's one thing to call me privileged. I'm sorry, but money has never been a lack in my life.
Oh, that is lucky. It's certainly not a benefit I've had.
Yes.
Well, that's fascinating.
Maybe.
Can I get your name? You're at the field lab. Could I get your name? I'd love to take it down in my notes. Maybe they'll call you up later.
Honestly, I'll just take your number, and we can actually talk more about this over coffee sometime.
Oh, roll persuade.
I don't understand. Okay.
Look, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I am both taken and not interested. You know, I'll just call the lab if we need you.
Okay. And when you do, just talk to Tony, and he'll be able to get you into direct contact.
Right. I'll check in with Dr. Antonio.
So while I'm here, even though I know I failed the knowledge roll, is there a way for me to take notes? Like, do I
you could the best I can give you is probably I will let you roll intelligence to try and memorize some of the figures, because people are starting to give you weird looks now.
Right. I need to go. Just regular.
Yeah, regular int. It's enough. You feel like you've got a couple of them in your mind. You could probably reproduce them if you get something to write with quickly.
Okay. Thank you again, Lee. I'll probably see you soon when we cross over. You know, if you ever come to our side.
Sure. Yeah, I bet.
Okay. And I'm close to the tape that is actually facing Key, right?
You're close to the exterior with the crowd now.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and
just go that way.
Well, yeah, because even if yeah.
Okay. As soon as you get on the other side of the car, the actual police notice you and like, hey, what are you doing here?
I was just working with my colleague there. I'm in I was called off duty. You know, this kind of caught everybody out by surprise. You know, I'm sorry I look like a bum, but you know, I just came in. You know what? Would you believe me if I told you I forgot it? Obviously, you know.
No.
Who is your commander? Who's in charge of you? Why are you like?
Sir, you appear to have broken a police line. You are impeding our investigation. I'm gonna need you to come down to the station for questioning.
Listen, do you have somebody that I can talk to on the phone?
You can talk to me in handcuffs very soon.
Who's your superior?
I'm gonna need you to comply, sir.
How many cops are there?
In the whole area, or like right here?
Okay. That implies more than 5.
Right here. There's a handful. In the sight, I don't know, dozen, maybe more.
Can't find him.
He appears to be reaching around his back for his zip ties.
I'm watching this from the tape, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to
do I see anybody that looks homeless near me?
Not really.
Does anybody looks
big crowds, poor? Not good places for drifters. They don't want to get picked up either.
Do I see anybody that looks desperate? Hell.
Oh, sure. I mean, there's poor people. Like there's a man near you in like homespun rags, but he looks like he could afford a like a hovel to live in.
That guy. I'm gonna look him over and say, hey, did you see that scene I caused a minute ago?
Yeah, I saw it.
Shit. Money's just money in this game. Is it credits?
Yeah, credits.
Oh, buddy, I'll give you 100 credits if you go do the same thing I just did.
300.
Except, okay. I'll give you 300 credits. Don't do the exact same thing I just did.
Just make a scene?
Yeah. Just get that cop that's arresting that guy to chase you.
Oh, all right. Easy. Credits first.
Half now, half later?
No, I'm about to get chased by a cop. Credits first.
All right. Doodle-doodle-doodle.
All right. He picks up a fucking brick, runs up to the tape, and as the like now, you know, back in time, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, he's got a pair of zip tie cuffs in his hands. What are you doing, Levi?
I'm just gonna. So not knowing what he's doing, actually, how would I respond to this? I'm gonna try to persuade him. I would probably try to just persuade him that know.
Roll hard difficulty persuade.
And after having said that, I'm gonna slip out the back of this crowd.
Shit. All right. Extreme success persuade. You finally pick the right words. You're like, look, man, I know this is, I understand, but I am, and you pull out an old ass ID card you swiped a year ago. It just happens to be in the pocket. Look, I'm from, and he's calming down. He's about to believe you. He's kind of putting away the cuffs, and then this barely above drifter dude shows up at the tape. Fuck you, cyber pig, and hucks a brick at him.
I'm gonna back up in shock and say, "Sir, are you okay? Do you need me to help you?
Let
are
me
you?"
see how okay he is. Oh yeah, fucking misses him by a mile. This was the guy's roll for throwing the brick. It goes it misses by a huge margin. But he's like, what the fuck? Oh Jesus shit! Look, get on the fucking tape, mister. And he just peels off. He's gone.
I'm gonna put my hands in my pocket and continue walk. Did anybody hear the conversation? Okay, cool. Because I'm I don't want to.
Yeah,
I'm headed south. I'm not in the crowd.
Okay, you spot Key making a casual exit.
Key, the craziest thing happened. I talked my way out of there. God was gonna let me go, and this random brick flew from some random guy in the crowd and really pissed him off. I was leaving anyway, but it's just interesting that happened.
Yeah, fucking real lucky coincidence there.
I mean,
it looked like you're about to get arrested, and then
I know it would have been fine. It would have been fine though, that's what I do, So it's just the more you know.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, Cyber God smiles on us today. A coincidence like that.
Anyway, do you have anything to write with, or I need to write these as soon as possible, or else I'm gonna forget.
Hold out my screen on my arm to him,
and so as I'm writing,
on my arm here.
As I draw what I can remember, I'm saying, yeah, man, these used to be some old, religious symbols of
what is this?
Worships of gods, and I forgot about them.
Were these in the construction site?
Mm-hmm. They were on the ground in the dirt for some reason, around the car. And I'll finish drawing whatever. But I know everything about them anyway. I'm just doing it for your sake. So
get them down, and we'll compare what you have to say versus a database search.
Yeah, for sure. I'm right though.
No, that's fine. There's gonna be more information about them.
Back at a coffee shop, 10 minutes up the road, 5 minutes up the road, whatever. Some amount of minutes up the road. We transition to our trio who stop for coffee.
I'll order not knowing how long it's going to take these guys to do this, I'll order a full-on solid breakfast.
Hell yeah.
But then, while I'm deciding what I want, it's nagging at the back of my head that what was going on. They were worried that it could be me and Odin.
Mm-hmm.
So, remembering my dream that I had, I just get real freaked out. I go to the bathroom and I'm checking my arms to see if I have any cuts and scrapes.
It's funny. You do have some what looks like long healed scars on your arms, but nothing recent.
Okay. Way less freaked out now. I just go and I don't know, because I don't know how the nanites would work as far as healing.
Question.
Well, never mind. Now I'm still real freaked out about it. I checked my clothes to see if they're torn because I don't remember changing or anything like that. I should still be wearing the same thing that I came here in, right?
Should you?
Yes, I should.
What if you went home? A lot of hours passed. It'd be weird if you didn't go home and change your clothes. Edwin, would you say that you're the kind of guy who has a lot of the same shirt?
Yes. The character, yes, absolutely.
I know. Your shirt seems fine.
Okay. Now I just go back out and I eat my breakfast.
Okay. Hollow Benny's Slandgram comes out. for a delicious breakfast.
Should have paid when we got the Cyber Slam.
Definitely should have got the Cyber Slam.
I get the Cyber Slam.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Of course you do. Yes.
Oh man.
Roxy, are you eating breakfast?
I order a hot chocolate and a muffin, and that's it.
Eggs
Nothing
and
too
pink
crazy.
marshmallows.
Definitely pink marshmallows. Maybe some gold flakes in it too.
Ooh.
You know, real fancy, real
Mhm.
classy.
Of course, yes, yes.
I mean, maybe the person that's taking the order from, recognizes her.
Are we at a Benny's or are we at like this high class?
Well, you're
Listen,
at a Benny's in the new tech district, all right.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Okay.
Are you trying to avoid notice here, or do you not mind being noticed, Roxy?
I mean, I kind of figure I'm gonna be noticed.
Yeah, but are
No
you
matter what.
making an effort or not?
I wouldn't say I'm making an effort.
Okay. Roll me a generic. Actually, just roll me luck.
I'm scared.
Not very lucky today.
Mm-mm.
After you get your order, the waitress comes by and I don't mean to bother, but the cook, he said that you might be one Mrs. Fox.
He would be correct, honey. What can I do for
My
you?
goodness, well, I'm in the presence of celebrity fame. Oh, well,
Oh,
could
I'm no
um,
celebrity.
look, I mean, I'd like to tell the gals. Could I get a picture?
Sure, why not? I feel like I'm up to par, I hope.
You're a sweetheart.
Probably.
I drop my cap a little lower to completely obscure my face.
Good plan.
Let's get a picture over there by the counter with my delicious hot chocolate.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. You guys head over to the counter and take a couple of little group selfies. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. You know what? Half price on your meal for that one. You're a sweetheart.
Oh, you are so sweet. Thank you so much. What was your name?
Oh, Roxanne.
A Roxy to a Roxy. Wow. Okay, that's beautiful.
I wouldn't call myself near you, but
Oh, please. You're just adorable. Thank you so much.
She goes off glowing. You made her day. She's feeling good. You head back home. Or not home, sorry, back to your booth. Eat your breakfast. It's delicious. All three of you feeling much more awake, much more alive. It's been 28 hours since you last remembered sleeping, except for Odin, who got a little cat nap in. But it's been quite a while since any of you have eaten, so you're definitely glad to have a little bit of your calorie deficiency fixed.
I'll go ahead and prepay with the waitress just in case.
Good plan.
Because runners tend to run into trouble
They do.
often.
Maybe 10 minutes pass, and you hear the sound of fresh police sirens heading up the street, going north.
Probably not our problem.
I sure hope they're okay.
Well, keep an eye on scream sheets. See if anything flashes across on AR.
Odin, you start flicking through the feed, as it were. Roxy, you get a text.
I'm gonna check it right there.
It's from your pal, the bouncer. It says, "Have you seen this?" It contains a link.
I click the link.
You see what looks like a long-distance telephoto lens kind of shot from maybe many stories up from a building, somewhere nearby, of a burnt-out husk of a car and what was probably female corpse burnt to a crisp. And a headline that says, local entertainer sacrificed in some barbaric ritual. And that's where we're going to end the session today. Thanks for joining us, everybody out there on the internet. We appreciate you. If you're catching this on YouTube or somewhere else later, hey, welcome to YouTube. You're a cool kid. We appreciate you. Thank you, player, for playing players. Thanks for watching watchers. We had a grand old time. We will catch you here again on Thursdays for Tomb of Annihilation, and once again next Saturday for the continuation of Transience, a Call of Cthulhu, Cyberpunk, something or other.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. Slide waves. Slide waves. Where's the stop streaming button in OBS? Oh, it's the same-ish place. Got it. There we go. Yes.